Hi, everybody. So today I'm going to discuss how procreation is a political act and make a case for anti-natalism under the anarchist framework. And this is basically in response to a discussion I had with another anarchist who basically took the position that procreation is a neutral act, it's a biological necessity, and that even though she's an anarchist, she's not an anti-natalist, and she thinks that parents have legitimate authority to procreate. So let me start out by defining anarchism. Anarchism is the principal rejection of all illegitimate authority, the position that no hierarchy is legitimate unless it can demonstrate its legitimacy, and the foundation of anarchist thought is consent. Authority that has not been agreed to by those it governs is not legitimate authority. It is domination, and domination is always illegitimate, regardless of appeals to necessity. Anarchy does not only reject specific governments or specific economic arrangements, it opposes hierarchies entirely. So it's about the structure of whatever institution you're trying to claim is legitimate. So it's not the institution itself, it's about how it is structured. So if it's horizontal, that is illegitimate. If it's vertical, then that is legitimate. So anarchism is a commitment to follow the logic of liberation wherever it leads, regardless of its conclusions. It questions every institution of power that claims legitimacy over bodies, time, labor, and existence. Anarchism applies to the state, to capital, to the church, to schools, and the workplace. But it has not been applied consistently to the foundation of society, which is the family, which I've talked to you all about how the family is the only natural society. It is the foundation of all other societies. So Max Weber defined the state as the entity that has successfully claimed a monopoly on violence within its territory. Basically, once you strip away the legal justifications and the sophisticated case law, the state is basically a bunch of violent people who will force you to submit through force, right? They will claim that they have legitimacy, but they can never tell you what is the basis of it. They will talk about the social contract. Henry Thoreau rejected the whole social contract because none of us consented to it. It was basically consented to by past generations who are now dead. But the state does not sustain itself purely on ideology. It sustains itself on bodies, on taxpayers, soldiers, workers, police force, consumers, subjects who generate economic activity and pay tribute to the state. So when you bring a child into the world under statism, you are not performing a neutral act. You are manufacturing a new slave to the master state and delivering a non-consenting person into a system of enslavement. Now, we all know that when a child is born under the state, they are given a social security number. They're given a birth certificate, right? They're subjected to all of these laws that they never consented to. So there's basically no room for confusion. You know exactly what you're doing. There's a social security attached to your child. That's a number. That's basically property that the state owns, right? So let's talk about parental anarchy. Parental anarchy begins with the recognition that the parent-child relationship is the first and only natural society. Parents command obedience. They control the child's movement. They determine the child's belief. They punish dissent. So the family is the original hierarchy. Children learn to obey their parents, right? They will later obey their employers, the police, the state, directly, through courts, through laws. So this is where the psychology of hierarchy begins. It's the family. This is where you learn that your existence is based on submission and compliance, and that authority does not need to justify itself. It's not authority at all. It's actually just power. And you know how a lot of these parents raise their children. It's what I say goes. Do it because I say so. Don't talk back, right? You're not allowed to question parental authority. You're a slave who has to just obey, even if it's not for your own best interest. Even if it does harm you, you're supposed to disobey because your parents said so. So the family is the institution through which the state reproduces itself, right? This is how the state exists. It's through the family. This family produces the state. Ivan Illich identified the school as a mechanism by which the family's hierarchy is handed to the state, where children are sorted into economic roles, trained in institutional obedience, and have their natural curiosity replaced with a compulsion to perform for external evaluation. Now, I do want to get back to Ivan Illich. I've been listening to some YouTube videos, and I need to read some of his material. I'm probably not informed about his philosophy enough to speak on it now, but I think he's not the only one who said this. This is something that Chomsky said, that basically schools are institutions of manufactured consent. Emma Goldman said the same thing, right? I guess I'll listen to it to see if he said anything different, but I think it's going along the same reasoning. Parental anarchy holds that the chain of domination must be broken, that the parent-child relationship must be structured around consent, that the parents should respect the child's autonomy, and that any authority that the parent exercises over the child must have a specific purpose, which is in the interest of the child, not for the parent. It is temporary and is aimed at producing a free, self-governing adult rather than a compliant slave. So if you take parental anarchy to its logical conclusion, the result is anti-natalism. So anti-natalism addresses whether to bring a child into existence. Parental anarchy addresses how to treat the child once they exist. If parental authority is only legitimate when it serves the child's development towards freedom, then every exercise of parental authority must be evaluated against the standard. And the most fundamental exercise of parental authority, which is to create the child in the first place. That decision, made unilaterally without consultation for the parent's own emotional, social, and existential benefit, is the purest possible expression of total domination of a person without consent, without any possibility of refusal on the party most affected. And unlike every subsequent exercise of parental authority, the decision to procreate cannot be undone. You cannot uncreate the person once you have enslaved them to the master state. Anti-natalism, therefore, is not a separate doctrine that anarchists must work from the outside. It is what parental anarchy actually requires when its logic is followed to its conclusion. You cannot consistently argue that parental authority over a child is illegitimate while treating the decision to create that child under statism as being ethically justified. The decision to procreate is the root cause of every domination that follows, and parental anarchy without antinatalism is irrational and paradoxical. How do you claim that you're creating a free person when you're intentionally created them under the state, knowing that they were born with a social security number with all of these duties? Now, I'm going to get to Rousseau right now because this is the point that I wanted to make the other day when I was debating her. But unfortunately, when you're in panel discussions, you don't get to explain everything that you want to say. Rousseau explained that there are two different equalities. There's natural inequalities and there's moral and political inequalities. In a state of nature, there are natural inequalities. These are differences in strength, health, endurance that arise from nature itself. According to Rousseau, the natural inequalities are legitimate because they come from nature. Now, under civilization, you have the state, laws, the institution of property, and all of these institutions produce something categorically different. It produces moral and political inequalities. These are artificial hierarchies that human beings deliberately design, maintain, and enforce through violence for the benefit of those at the top. Rousseau was explicit that moral and political inequalities have no foundation in natural law and have no justification other than force. A parent who brings a child into existence in a state of nature exposes that child to no unnatural hardships, and is not intentionally enslaving that child to any institution because they're born free, right? Now, of course, there's a lot of atrocities that happen in nature. You're fighting against the elements and things like that, but those are natural inequalities. It's not the same as procreating under the state of society. A parent who brings a child into existence under statism deliberately enslaves their child to the state and subjects them to moral and political inequalities. These systems are designed to extract, to maintain compliance through violence, and serve the interests of those who exist within that system. What makes this morally unforgivable is that the parents create their children knowing full well that this system exists and how it actually functions. They know that their child will be assigned a social security number. They know that the child will be subjected to compulsory schooling. They know that the child will have to obtain a license in order to earn a livelihood, in order to operate, and well, let me just use the correct term, in order to travel. They know that their tax dollars will be extracted. They will be subjected to laws that they never consented to. They will be harassed by the police. they will be prohibited from terminating their involuntary existence if they want to, because they're too valuable to the state. So they're going to be forced to exist. Against their will, this compulsion would not exist in a state of nature. So procreating in a state of nature and procreating under statism are not the same act, and they are not morally equivalent. Now, Rousseau was explicit about parental authority and state authority. Parental authority is temporary, right? It's supposed to produce a free, self-governing adult. And once that person has become a self-governing adult, then the parent-child relationship dissolves. It's not a natural society. It's basically voluntary. You can choose to have a relationship with your parents if they're good to you, if they're not abusive, but it's not the same thing as the state, which is completely compulsory. Rousseau was explicit when he said that parents have no legitimate authority to alienate their children's liberty. A child is born free, and that freedom belongs to them, not to the parent and not to the state. Procreation under statism imposes something that exceeds any legitimate parental authority ever described: enslavement to the master state. And this enslavement cannot end, it does not end at maturity. It cannot be outgrown. It cannot be dissolved by any act of parenting. The Social Security number does not expire. The tax obligation does not dissolve. Even when a parent-child relationship concludes, the child is still enslaved to the state. Legitimate parental authority is designed to terminate once the person becomes a free adult. The child's relationship to the state never terminates, which means procreation imposes something the parents have no right to impose. They're imposing an illegitimate social contract and a lifetime of enslavement. Parents extract meaning, purpose, emotional satisfaction, social status, legacy, and existential validation. The benefits flow from the child to the parent, while the child bears all the costs. Therefore, the parent-child relationship is the model for state domination. The first experience every human being has of existing is within a power structure, bearing the cost of their involuntary extraction, obeying authority that has never been legitimized. So the state did not create this invention. It really starts with the parent-child relationship, and then it's been formalized and then used in a more exploitive manner. You're going to procreate, you're going to create a slave. Well, guess what? I'm going to capture your slave and enroll your slave into my system. Now you're going to be my bitch. Now you're going to follow my laws, right? Thank you, parent, for creating a slave. Now they're my slave. Now your child is going to serve my system, whether they want to or not. The claim that procreation cannot be held to moral scrutiny because it is a biological drive is a weak argument, especially for someone who claims to be an anarchist. Territorial aggression is also a biological drive, so tribalism and violence would be justified if you believe that because you have the power to do something that you have authority to do it. To make a deliberate decision to enslave a child to the master state while pretending to be blameless is this moral bankruptcy. And it cannot be justified just because you're heterosexual. You can't say just because men and women having sex is a natural biological urge that the consequence evades moral scrutiny. It does not. The fact that you are heterosexual does not give you the right to enslave a child. You know that if men and women have sex, the natural consequence is that you're going to produce a child. So if you are going to have sex with someone of the opposite sex, then you have a duty, a moral duty to mitigate that harm through birth control, right? You don't get to enslave a child to the state and just say, oh, that's just what happens when men and women have sex. If that's the case, then don't have sex with someone of the opposite sex. And if you are going to do that, use birth control, right? These appeals to nature are falling on deaf ears. It doesn't make any sense. So just to be clear, the problem isn't that people are straight. The problem is what sex between what man and women. The problem is that when men and women have sex, the consequence is producing a child who is enslaved to the state. And this does not have to be the case. People do have birth control as an option. And so just because you want to have your little 15 minutes of pleasure does not give you the right to enslave someone to the state, to the master state. Now, in Appendix C of my book, which I just talked about, I believe that was last week, I talk about the conclusion of my philosophy, life abolitionism, and the ultimate goal is to dismantle the state through demographic collapse. Every conventional form of resistance, protest, strikes, we just had that No King's Day, which I think is absolute bullshit. I just posted an article on Substack about that. You can talk about civil obedience. You can talk about electoral organizing, filing your bullshit lawsuits, which don't accomplish anything because state officials are protected with immunity. All of these forms of resistance leave the system intact. You can march. You can refuse to go to work. You can withhold your taxes. But if you're doing this simultaneously while procreating, then you're not doing anything. You're still fueling the system, right? If you stop procreating, you attack the state at its root. You are withdrawing the one resource with which no state can sustain itself, refusing to manufacture slaves that give the master state its revenue, its institutional foundation, and its future. The state derives itself from practical legitimacy through citizens and subjects. Because once those people are here, now we're going to say, oh, well, those people need protection, right? They need resources, right? If those people, well, now that they're here, they need our protection. They need the state to protect them from themselves. They're too stupid and incompetent to govern their own lives. So we need more state power in order to protect these people. But these people did not have to exist. The fact that people keep producing new slaves who will need systems to survive under statism is an implicit endorsement of the state's necessity. And you're doing this while not making any demands. You're actually giving the state slaves without demanding anything in return. Why would you do that? That's completely illogical. The state is unresponsive. It does not care about you or your children, and yet you're handing them the one thing that the state functionally can't compel you to do. I know they're trying because they're trying to force women to have children against their will by taking away their abortion rights. But you're feeding right into their hands. Why would you do that? Now, a state confronting a demographic collapse is in a different category from a state in which people are freely handing their children over to the state for total enslavement and domination. Once people stop procreating, the state faces, I don't know, well, it faces demographic collapse, but that demographic collapse, or at least its potential, is leverage. Now the state must compete for cooperation for people who are declining to reproduce. Notice how they're so threatened by the declining birth rates. This is the only thing that really motivates them to care about the needs of the people. Your protests, your writing, like your letters to Congress, all that bullshit does not do anything. You stop procreating and start making some demands, and let's see how quickly the state becomes responsive. Now, once you stop procreating, the state must earn its legitimacy rather than simply assuming legitimacy based on the fact that past generations ostensibly consented to the social contract. Now, anarchism demands that we follow liberation wherever it leads, tracing assumed authority back to its roots. And when you trace it back to its origin, it starts with the family. The desire for meaning, legacy, carrying on your name does not justify enslaving someone to the master state without their consent. If you want to fight the state, stop feeding it. If you want to fight against capitalism, stop feeding it. If you want to end the hierarchy of school indoctrination, stop populating it with new students. Stop creating new consumers. The enslavement of human beings to the master state is a choice. As long as you continue to make that choice without making any conditions, then you and your children will continue to be enslaved. Procreation is a political act. It is not just a private act. It's not a personal choice. It is a political act to legitimize the system of enslavement. So anti-natalism is parental anarchy carried to its logical conclusion. It is the position that takes seriously the claim that no hierarchy over a child is legitimate unless it serves the child's interest, and follows this claim all the way back to the moment before the hierarchy began, which is the point of non-existence. So procreation has always been a political act, and because it's not a private act, because it is legitimizing the system that enslaves you, then you have every right to examine somebody else's decision to procreate, because their decision to procreate actually enslaves you. Because the more people there are, the more people who need the state for their oppression prevents dismantling the state. So as long as they continue to procreate, you're going to continue being a slave. I can talk about how it functions in terms of democracy, how it dilutes the power of the individual vote, and then they don't have to be responsive. But their decision to procreate absolutely enslaves you, and you have every right to call them out on it. Now let's see if I have any comments. Yes, it is. It is the revolution. Yeah, well, I just wrote an article for Substack basically saying, if you're going to protest the kings, it's not the president. The president is not at the top of the hierarchy. He's not. We have a system of judicial supremacy, and the Supreme Court is actually more powerful than the president. because the Supreme Court has the power of judicial review. This is from Marbury versus Madison. The Supreme Court has basically constitutional authority. Any decision the Supreme Court makes has the force of the Constitution itself. Therefore, it trumps any legislative action and any executive action. All right, y'all. Now I have some people here. I was not planning on opening this up for. You know what? I was planning on talking about anarchy tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Thursday. I don't know if anybody wants to come up, but I can't stay in here too long. So I guess I can open it up for discussion for a little bit. If anybody wants to come up, I'm posting a link. And I don't know if Pastor D is here or not, but he's been wanting me to use StreamYard. I'm using StreamYard, and whenever I do my live streams, he's, so hopefully he's here. Oh, Chickpea is here. Great. Hey, Chickpea.
Just been having a hissy fit now. Hello.
How are you? I thought you were over on D&W's channel.
Yeah, but I've been having a hissy fit with somebody called, some Scottish bloke called Warrior blah blah or something. So I left.
Right. People have been asking me to do more content, like more live streams, so that we can talk about anti-natalism specifically. I don't know. I would like to, now that, certain people are no longer anti-natalists, we need a home for us to actually discuss the things that we want to talk about.
Well, I'm at a loss to understand. I look around me, and my attitude's always been, I cannot understand why anyone would want to bring a child into this bloody hellhole. Maybe you remember the top 0.01%, and you've got your nice big house and your land. Yeah, not too bad. But the rest of us, I've never understood. I've never understood it. Never.
Well, I'm trying to make the case. I mean, I know I have very limited reach, but I realized that even though my channel was small, people have heard my arguments and are sort of taking it. So that's how the message gets spread. You like, I tag people sometimes and they listen, and then they're talking about it. Like, it's not a neutral act. It's not like you're just creating a baby and you're just creating a family. No, you're enslaving that child to the state, and you don't have any.
They don't think of that. They don't think of that. I mean, when I was young, I used to look around me when I was in my very early 20s, and I looked around me at all the whole corporate city world, and I could not understand that people are. Oh, Marcus is joining in. I could not understand that girls that I knew in the office, were breeding. I was at a loss to understand why they'd want to actually bring somebody in here, but they did. Hello, Marcus.
Hello.
You keep changing your, I don't know, your photo.
Yeah, it was temporary, but I kind of like it now. I don't think
I wish D&W would have left up that live stream from yesterday, because
Me too. There were so many parts of that I wanted to listen to.
Yeah, why is it being removed?
I don't know.
What's happened?
We had a discussion at the end of that live stream that I wanted to clip, and I'm like, what the hell happened to it? And
what happened? Yeah.
And the after show was even more interesting. I wish I would have recorded that. I had a discussion with Witchy Bitchy, and she, well, we're talking about D&W interviewing me about my book, and we're just trying to flesh out how that's going to work.
Okay.
Is there anything? Sorry.
Anything insightful about that discussion? Or?
Well, I guess we don't agree on how it should be structured, because I just want to be interviewed by him and Danny Shine. He wants to make it open for everybody at the end.
No, that's a bad idea. Come on, look at the panels. Do you think you'll be able to even answer a question without being interrupted?
Well, I don't really, I can handle these people, but I don't want that one person to use that as an opportunity to troll me and then I can't leave because it's like my interview, and then I have to sit there and just take it.
Yeah, but if it's an open panel, people are going to want to debate you, not interview you.
And that's fine. I just don't want that one person to bring up personal stuff, and then it's like, okay, well, now I got you. You're trapped. You can't leave, and then I have to just, you know what I mean? And then if it turns nasty because I'm going to cuss this person out, everybody's going to they're going to be looking at me like I'm crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I know he wants to do an open. We're trying to figure out how to do it. I hope Dennison comes, because if Dennison comes, I think he can sort of keep it, orderly. Dennison will probably, that way I don't have to do it while I'm promoting my book. He would probably do it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I disagree with Dennison on his positions, but I like his energy. He seems to, yeah, I like the way he conducts himself. I have very limited information, but so far it's been positive. So maybe I might regret saying that, but
I didn't even know he had a channel, but I'm going to, I don't know, I need to reach out to her and get the name of his channel.
I think it's just called Denizen.
I think there's something else added to it. But anyway, Wishy also has a channel. I mean, I don't think she does content regularly, but yeah. Man, that conversation we had yesterday was so interesting. I wish Dean Double would put that live stream back up. I'm not sure why he took it down. I don't think. Well, I didn't listen to the first part of it. I only came in like the last 30 minutes, and I don't think we said anything that was, that was a red flag.
Were any of you like near the end of it? Because I left before the end, so I don't know if something spicy happened later.
Yeah, I was at the very end when he ended the live stream. Like it was just the two of us, and then Passy came in, and yeah, I don't think it was just the usual stuff, but it was more of me debating DNW about the legitimacy of democracy. I thought that conversation was actually interesting. I wish he would put, gosh, DNW, what the hell? But yeah, Danny Shine already agreed to interview me, and so I guess they can stream it on both channels. And then I accidentally uploaded, because I did a basically a Cliff Notes version of my book, because I know people don't want to read the entire thing. So they can prepare it and interview me. I believe it's only like 50 pages or something, but I accidentally uploaded the image for my quote unquote soundtrack. And so Danny Shine wanted the link to the soundtrack, and I sent it to him. So that was an accident to put that in there, but I'm thinking maybe I should leave it, because then anybody who reads it will want to listen to the soundtrack.
True.
So I don't know. I'm trying to decide, because certain people I've been contacted to do more like anti-natalist content and to do more panel discussions regularly. I don't know if I don't have as much time to do that, and sometimes these discussions go on for hours. And I tried to do it yesterday, but nobody clicked on. So it's just like, I'm not good at scheduling live streams in advance, because I never know what my day is going to look like. I just jump on when I'm able to do it.
I hear you. My life is similar.
So I don't know. I do think that I have alienated some people on my other channel. Sometimes when I do live streams, you just like slip and say something that you shouldn't say, and I think I said something like, those who procreate, that's retarded, that's stupid, and I did lose some subscribers. But I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to do that when you're live. You just say whatever comes out.
Hello, Marcus, can I ask you two guys something? Do you mind?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Again, on the abortion laws in the UK. Right. What I was saying, Marcus, is that these late abortions, I'm very pro-abortion. I used to go demonstrating for women's rights when they tried to change it. But these late abortions mean that the baby they are aborting can feel pain. And that's what the argument for me is about. That shouldn't be allowed. That baby can feel pain, so they can't just take it out of the mother's body and leave it on the sideboard to die, because that's what they're doing.
Well, the legal standard in America was always viability. So once the child can survive outside the mother's womb, then
right, that's how it should be, because it can feel pain. But you know what they've done now in the UK? You can literally have an abortion right up the time you're going to give birth. Now, I don't care what says that baby can feel pain, so that little option should no longer be valid. And I am pro-abortion. I'm very pro-abortion.
But I assume that when they do that, that's usually for the mother's health, right? I mean, I don't.
The thing is, Thing is, LA. Speaking of somebody who has been to an abortion clinic, first of all, one doctor that you have to get permission of is working at the abortion clinic anyway, so you'll get that permission instantly. The other doctor, it is very, very easy to bribe a doctor to sign the form for you. It doesn't take that much. Most of us are corrupt as hell anyway, especially in the UK. And I just find, I don't like babies, but I think to inflict pain on a baby that's ready to be born is wrong. That's what I'm saying. I'm pro-abortion. This is what they're allowing in the UK.
I don't know. I think there's a right to privacy, even if I personally don't like it. I don't like getting into people's medical records and like examining what they did between.
No. Yeah, but I think it should have stayed as it is in America. As soon as that baby can survive outside the womb, abortion should. I mean, if you haven't made your mind up by then really, I don't know what to make. I'm sorry to bring the subject up. Actually, I should have not brought the subject up.
But who should be prosecuted, and how would you prosecute them without violating the mother's right to privacy?
Exactly. But I think there's something else going on personally, because nowadays there's this thing with adrenochrome and they transplants and all this weird satanic stuff. I think that's what's going on personally, but I'm probably just being neurotic. I'm just curious what other people think. So.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more extreme on that subject. I mean, I guess I probably shouldn't say what I think, but I'm more of a natural rights proponent. So any rights you would have in the state of nature, that's where I would fall.
Yeah.
I just don't want the state being involved in that.
I don't know. Never mind.
Let me ask you this then, Chickpea. If it was you, I mean, I know it's hard to speculate, but if you were that fetus and your mother could get into the abortion and that would avoid your life of drudgery, would you want your mother to do that?
Yeah, I guess so. But yes, I wouldn't look forward to the pain very much because I hate pain. But I think if I knew what was coming ahead of me, yes. Yes, I would. I would still opt for that, yeah. Sad, brutal reality.
What's your take on infanticide, LA?
That's what I was trying to avoid.
I had a feeling. I mean, it's a discussion, but yeah, maybe that's too hot of a topic.
No, I think, that was the right that was recognized under common law. Women did have the right to infanticide. Their family planning was to leave their babies out in the woods. So it's a natural right. Animals practice infanticide. So I think it's part.
Bro, I literally had this discussion yesterday on not just infanticide, but xenocide as well. Just because, I don't know, I just randomly decided to debate my AI on it.
So if there's a
Synchronicity.
right, if there's a natural right to infanticide, there has to be a natural right to abortion.
Terrible, isn't it?
Or unless they're just going to say we're going to force women to have children against their will in order so that they can have the natural right to an infanticide anyway. Like,
Yeah.
um,
It's a horrible subject.
abortion is better than infanticide.
What do you think, Chickpea?
Well, I don't know. I just find, yeah, I'm very anti-pain. Me, it's the pain issue that upsets me. It's purely the pain issue. You know, nothing else. Well, you know,
It's
apparently
just
these.
really funny how like everything gets so complicated and convoluted. Um, but when you actually go back and research history, it becomes very clear. Like the way that they just make these issues so complicated, it's like it's not complicated at all if you understand how these laws came into existence in the first place.
I don't actually know the history of abortion. Do you?
I did actually. Now that you asked that, I did. Well, it was on the Anti-Native Informant channel, but it's on my my other channel, my Anarchist channel. So I can download it and read and upload it again, just so you can, because I've gone through some law review articles explaining the history of it. So
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'd be interested in that. Does it have anything to do with Christianity by any chance? I have a feeling religion has a part to play into this.
no, it's mostly dealing with the law and the right to privacy. How under common law they recognize the mother's right to privacy, and they would not prosecute the mother if the infant died under the age of 1.
Oh, I know that, but I meant like, how did why did it get tightened? Like, how did that come about?
I don't think it was necessarily Christianity. They saw it as murder, and they talked. Again, it always goes back to the state's interest. It's always the state has an interest in protecting the sanctity of life. But I'm pretty sure if I were to dig even deeper, it would have something to do with the American Medical Association.
Okay.
They're the ones who are behind all of this. They're the ones who fund the lobbying. I guarantee it's the American Medical Association. I mean, I don't know what your equivalent is in Canada.
Yeah, I know, because I would imagine. Well, our laws came from. I'm too ignorant about this, but I would assume in the early days it came from like the British, how they handled things. So they kind of adopted some of the norms, I'm assuming. But I do recall, like in the past, the 1 year, like up to 1 year, yeah, that wasn't criminalized, right?
Right, under common law, I'm not sure that it was never a crime under common law anyway. It's just the prosecutors, just out of respect and deference to the mother, they just didn't prosecute it. So I guess they could have, but in practice, they never did.
Okay. I assume, Chickpea, you would be against infanticide, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I'm against inflicting pain.
Hmm.
That makes sense. So you could give that baby an injection to just put it to sleep like you do with cats and dogs, then I'm not so against it. I'm just against
What if that existed? What if you like infanticide with euthanasia medication? What would you say about that?
If the baby was disabled, I'd say, yeah, do it.
No, a healthy one.
Well, you know, somebody can adopt a healthy baby.
Okay. So if there's an option for adoption, then it wouldn't be okay.
Sorry, but wasn't an option. Well, you know, it's a horrible subject. This I've never thought.
I know, and I mean, I don't like talking about it, but LA seems to not be holding me back. So
Yeah.
I don't care. I just did a cursory look into it using AI, and AI did confirm that it was the American Medical Association.
But I'll tell you what.
If you want me to read it, I can, but I don't need to read the whole thing. But if you want me, I don't know. If you're interested, I can tell you how it evolved.
I'm okay with it if you. But Chickpea wants to say something.
I reckon all this is very satanic, to be quite honest. This whole late abortions. It's all to do with the adrenochrome, and probably because you know that in America, young people sell their blood for celebrities, buy it and have blood transfusions with this young blood. You do know that, yeah? It's not common knowledge, but I have read about it. And I think this is all to get that baby's blood and whatever else that these sickos think could contain anti-aging properties or whatever. But I think they're doing.
Well, but they use the same argument about medical assistance in dying to say it's some satanic ritual or something. Especially in Canada, because they're talking about how they inflict pain, and the person is basically they have a medically induced paralysis, and so they're feeling pain, but they can't react to it. So I don't know, but
because you know what gets with all this, LA, okay? Now, doctors can anesthetize people for heavy-duty surgery. You can take 4 or 5 hours, no problems. But they can't anesthetize somebody to put them to sleep for eternity. They can't somehow manage that. I don't understand this nonsense that's spouting nowadays. Don't understand why are they doing this?
Well, they can do it for convicted felons. So the same standards that is used to execute people should be used to people who are not criminals. This isn't complicated. They're making it complicated on purpose.
It's really terrifying, you know. I just don't like inflicting pain on anyone. I just something I don't agree with. Even if they are criminals, fine. Just put them to sleep like you do in surgery. Just kill them when they're unconscious. There, solves that problem. They won't feel it anyway.
All right, now I'm going to read the history. So before the mid-1800s, abortion before quickening was largely tolerated under common law and not generally illegal in the United States. The shift came largely due to a coordinated campaign by the newly founded American Medical Association. Dr. Horatio Storer, a Boston physician, led the AMA anti-abortion crusade beginning in 1857. He convinced the American Medical Association to formally oppose abortion in 1859 and lobby state legislatures aggressively. The campaign was partially professional. Regular trained physicians wanted to distinguish themselves from midwives, homeopaths, and other practitioners who performed abortions. Criminalizing abortion was a way to consolidate medical authority and drive out competitors. There were also explicit nativist and racial dimensions. Storer and others openly worried that white, Protestant, native-born women were having abortions while immigrant and Catholic populations were not, threatening the demographic dominance of Anglo-Saxon Americans. Storer's writings directly invoked this concern. There were gender control elements as well. The campaign reflected Victorian anxieties about women stepping outside of domestic roles. The American Medical Association's lobbying was remarkably effective between 1860 and 1880. Almost every U.S. state passed laws criminalizing abortion at all stages of pregnancy, a dramatic reversal from the pre-Civil War legal landscape. These are the laws that remain largely on the books until Roe versus Wade, and which states have returned to or approximated after Dobbs versus Jackson. So I'm just going to summarize the dates. The American Medical Association reversed its position in 1967 when it began supporting abortion law reform and fully supported abortion rights by the early 1970s. Religious opposition to abortion, particularly from the Catholic Church, existed throughout this period, but the legislative victories from the 19th century were driven primarily by the medical profession, not religious lobbying, which is somewhat the reverse of how modern anti-abortion politics tend to be organized. Historians like James Moore and Leslie Reagan are the foundational scholarly sources on this history. So I guess that's something I'm probably going to look into a little bit deeper to see how this played out, and maybe I'll do content on it. But I knew it had to be an American Medical Association. Like, it's always it. That's why I spent so much time in my book talking about occupational licensing, because they basically control public policy and economics. And so if you had a free market, none of these restrictions would exist.
Yeah, no, you're right there. Yes. Actually, I remember back in the 70s demonstrating about all this thing. They wanted to change the abortion laws in the UK, and we used to go out in the streets ranting away about it. I remember it in the 70s. Yeah.
Man, I guess I should have made an announcement that I made my little Cliff Notes version available for free, but I guess I can extend it.
Oh, what the hell? Where did you post it? I didn't know about that.
It's on Amazon. I made it available. I only emailed D&W and Danny Shine.
Oh, okay.
I think it takes the guts out of my arguments, but if you're not somebody who's a reader, then you can sort of get the gist of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't personally like Cliff Notes stuff, but I understand why people do it. And I was just about to grab it, but then I'm like, I have the full thing, so why would I want the shorter one?
Well, I don't know. Well, Witchy read the whole thing, and so I found her critiques to be helpful. I mean, I already knew that it wasn't perfect, but that missing component was that I did not include the American Medical Association, but I did not know about that until after the fact.
Oh, is that in the Cliff Notes one?
No, the Cliff Notes is based on the one that's just that is already published, but I wish I would have included that because that's such an important piece that I overlooked.
Yeah.
But I did post an article on Substack basically acknowledging that was left out, and I don't know. It's just when you talk about the state's interest and the sanctity of life, that's bullshit, because in that whole Glucksberg decision, the American Medical Association submitted an amicus brief. I'm not sure if you know what an amicus brief is. It's basically, you're not a party to the lawsuit, you're a friend of the court, so you submit a brief as an advisory role, an advisory capacity, telling the court how they should rule. So they basically submitted their amicus brief saying, that the right to medical assistance in dying should not become a legal right because it's going to have a negative impact on medical professionals.
Which begs the question, why can't they just give us the drugs to do it with ourselves? Don't understand that.
Right, and they gave themselves a monopoly in the first place, and then they want to use that monopoly to justify their need for protection.
Yeah. But I'm still planning to go to Switzerland. I wonder what happens in Switzerland. They give you ketamine to drink, apparently.
I don't know. I don't know if I should just update the current book or if I should just do a second edition. I don't know, but I think that is crucial to understanding how we got to where we are.
Are you allowed to do that?
Am I allowed to do what?
Make substantial updates to an already published book?
Yeah, I mean, all I have to do is just upload a new document, and that's what people will get when they read it.
Wow.
But it's kind of unfair to the people who already paid for it because they're not.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, because like if anybody bought a hardcover or a paperback, yeah, like they'll never get the updates. Huh. Interesting.
I've got the Amazon version.
Right. So if I do that, at least the people who already paid for it will see the updates. Hopefully, I think they would see the updates. But I don't know. I'm sort of tired, and I'm not even going to talk about my plans now, just because I don't want the haters to see what I'm doing and then try to like, I don't know, talk shit about me. So I basically have a year plan on how to change my life and how to get out of my rut. So I'm not going to say anything until after it's already done.
Good luck. I haven't figured out how to get out of mine.
Are you still planning to go to uni?
Yeah, I have vague ideas of what I'd like to do. I haven't really made a plan yet, so I don't know. I'm just trying to survive each day, honestly.
Yeah. I must admit, I wish sometimes I'd gone to uni, but yeah.
This summer I'll have more mental space to reflect like where I'm going.
Tell you something weird though, Mark, because like I was thrown off the treadmill 30 years ago with the RA, and when I look back on it all, it's been a blessing in disguise. It has been. Oh, and LA, I'm seeing my doctor on Thursday to get the blood test done, and I'm going to ask them to check the ESR to see if that ALA stuff lowers ESR, because if it does, they've got a cure for rheumatoid arthritis.
Well, at the same time, they're not being honest.
Yeah, I know.
Here's the thing, though. Even like the stuff, because you're not the first one who I've recommended to take certain supplements. And then when a doctor finds out what you're taking, they'll tell you not to take it because they'll make an excuse to say, oh, if you take this supplement, it's going to interfere with the crap that they're already giving you. So I would think if you tell that doctor what you're taking, they're probably going to say, don't take that, take something else instead.
Oh, right. I won't tell them. Thank you for that, because I was going to give it, I'm seeing on Thursday, and I was going to say to them, blah, 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 so I won't now. Thank you for telling me that.
But I would still get the lab test so that you can confirm for yourself.
Oh, yeah. The test still gets done, yeah. This test, I just won't say anything.
Yeah, and he's going to be like, wow, you've made a remarkable recovery, and he's not going to know why.
That's how it goes. Yeah. Because in RA, you get this thing called erythrocyte sedimentation rate. And I've got a strange feeling that mine has plummeted.
So right, and for example, I had, they diagnosed me as being pre-diabetic, but I took a supplement, and then when I got my blood sugar tested, it had basically dropped well below the range of being pre-diabetic, and they thought I had some miraculous recovery, and I didn't even tell them what I took. I just, they basically just thought that I changed my diet and I stopped consuming sugar. I'm like, no, I didn't change my diet. I just took this supplement.
Yeah, because I don't want my meds stopping, because if the worst comes to the worst, I can always stockpile them or whatever. I don't know, just in case.
Right, you can buy them in larger quantities. You can just get the generic brand instead of buying the whatever
Oh,
brain you got.
no, I can't buy what I get in the UK. Can't buy it. It's on prescription only.
The alpha lipoic acid.
Oh, sorry, I thought we were talking about my drugs. No, I will carry on taking the LA, but I also get codeine drugs, and I've decided I'll just carry on getting my prescriptions. Well, you know me, I'm a little doomy, gloomy little thing. I'm waiting, and just in case the day might come, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm afraid I think about these things. But I'm thinking, it's, yeah.
I almost wish I could do that like full time and just like actually maybe check a course to learn more about it. But I don't know, because I think unless you have some type of title and whatever, and make a livelihood out of it, people don't take you seriously. They think that you don't know what you're talking about or whatever, and it's like this is something that I take as a passion to understand. Like, I don't have any basic medical training, but I do this. But when it comes to holistic medicine, it's almost like I do know what to take for most basic ailments.
Now I'm talking about my prescription meds, my codeine. I get codeine on prescription. And
what is that? What is that for?
Sorry?
Is that for the RA also?
Yeah. I can't take NSAIDs, so they give me codeine, and I've nearly stopped because this stuff ALA works so well. But I think I'll keep my mouth shut about everything. Carry on getting my codeine prescription. I should be saying on here. Carry on get just in case. Yes, just in case World War III breaks out, shall I say, or something else horrific happens.
Right, you should keep it just in case you need it. But I could probably suggest other things that would replace that. I mean, but if you don't have any negative impacts from taking it, then maybe you can keep taking it. But I heard if you take it, long term that it stops working.
No, it does work. I mean, I've been taking it for nearly 25 years now. It does work still, but my pain levels have plummeted so much, I'm hardly taking any anymore. I tell you wouldn't believe what's happened. It's weird. But then RA is inflammation, so yeah. Get rid of the inflammation, you get rid of the RA. That's all RA is, inflammation.
Right. So they're just treating the symptoms. They're not addressing the root cause.
No. Well, they don't. Well, they give you drugs called DMARDs. They're pretty horrific, and they don't work that well. And I decided I was not going to take them, and I can't take steroids, and I do that and the other. So I just have to make do with codeine. The codeine is all well, as far as it can. It does work, and I used to also take stinging nettle tincture, which really works very well. And yeah. I've hardly taken any codeine now for about a month, literally 1 or 2 a day, and that's I'm still in a bit of pain, but not like I used to be. Good Lord. Yeah, I tell you, it's a cure, literally. But I'll keep my mouth shut. I've decided to take your advice. Yeah. Hello? Now, keeping the codeine in case World War III breaks out, LA, and I decide to perhaps take my cats to the vet to give them a nice end and just call it a day somehow. I always have that in mind. It's always there, just in case. I know I shouldn't talk like this, but seeing you're into life abolitionism anyway. Yes?
Well, I would just say this without me giving you any specific information. If you have any questions and you don't want to be censored, I would say go to an AI tool called Venice AI. It doesn't have any censorship, and you can pretty much ask them any questions. But there's things you can take. I probably would say Boswell. Boswellia is one of the most potent anti-pain things that you can take. But you can also, well, I'm not going to say this because you're vegan. If you took fish oil, that would relieve your pain. But I don't know what the vegan alternative is for that.
There's one made from algae for omega-3s and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't take oils. But no, the LA has worked like a dream. I'm surprised it's taken me this long to find out. It hadn't been for the fact that you were talking offhandedly and I picked it up. I would have never known. It was only a few minutes of you talking to Dawn, not to Dawn, to Hazel, that I picked it up.
Yeah, most people don't listen. I think that they think because it's not prescribed by a doctor, it won't work. I don't know what to do. Like, you can give a horse some water, but you can't make them drink. So
they can drink now.
There's people who are about to die from cancer and stuff because they won't take any alternative.
Yes, I know. Yes, I know. I have taken that on board. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it's very scary, isn't it? That we're so brainwashed by Big Pharma that you can't even veer people in a different direction anymore. Myself included. You know, they've got me.
Yeah. Well, and they know that they're dying, right? They know that they're wasting weight, they're losing weight, and they still won't listen. Yeah. So how do you know that you're dying and you're still going to continue taking it when someone is offering you something else that won't have those side effects?
Yeah. Yeah.
I told my dad that, by the way. I'm like, if you take chemotherapy, you're just going to lose your appetite and waste away. Like, I've seen it happen to so many people. He didn't listen to me. So the indoctrination is so powerful.
Yes. Oh yeah, I do know. Yes. I mean, they've got me on the SSRIs. They've got me on them. Yeah.
Brother Marcus, did you see my business idea that I emailed you?
I have 10 emails.
Without saying what it is, do you think that
I will? I saw you emailed me. I will get to it in a few weeks because I have a lot of emails to go through, and Chickpea knows this.
Sorry, thanks, Marcus. Right, like I said, there's this cat that I'm in love with in Canada. And this guy put up the most gorgeous short of her, and I thought I must let Marcus see this because she.
I did see both of you email me. The thing is, I work. Okay, so my job is emailing. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I don't like looking at my email. But I did see both of you emailed me, so I have it in the back of my head to check.
Okay. Now that I'm aware of that, because I know people send me emails, and I'm just like, it's so much work to even respond to it. I just
because I know I show up on these panels, and it's like, well, you have the time, but the thing is, it is my job, so it's like I used to work at a call center for tech support, and I remember my friends would want to call me on the phone. And I'm like, I do not want to talk to anybody on the phone. So it's kind of like that.
No, I
people are like, oh, I just quickly sent you an email, and I'm like, yeah.
I get emails too, and I'm just like, it's actually easier to talk to when I'm doing my live streams, but some people prefer emailing because I guess it's more private, or I don't know. And the only reason I emailed you is because I don't want my business idea to just be all over the internet.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but Marcus, I'm in love with a cat that lives 6,000 miles away. It's true.
And I love you, Chickpea, but please don't send me any more cat videos. I can't. It's a lot of. Again, I got a lot of emails that I got to go through, and cats are cute, but
Yeah, I promise I won't send any more.
Oh my cat. Well, it's not really my cat. It's a stray cat. I had my groceries delivered, and I didn't pick them up right away. And she got to my bed. Anytime there's like bread outside, she'll just get into it and just
Yeah.
like. I find it so annoying. I couldn't even get mad at her because I'm like, it's my fault for not coming outside immediately. But um, it's like she didn't even eat it. She just like basically played with it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about bread, but they seem to like bread.
They like bread.
Good smelling toy, apparently.
Yeah, they like bread. I've got a cat that likes eating grapes and currants as well. I wouldn't be without them. Yeah. So do you put out food for her, this cat, this stray, LA?
Yeah, but I mean, she didn't even. Well, part of the groceries that I ordered had cat food in it, but I didn't even get a chance to do it because she got to the bread.
Oh, that's nice of you. Thank you for doing that. Because we should look after our stray animals.
Yeah, I feel sorry for her because her siblings died, and I try to make sure she gets the best, care possible. But I don't know. I don't. And then also, like, I told you how I accidentally killed that tabby because I put too much. He had some type of mites or something, and I put this oil on him, and I didn't. There's no warning label on. That's why I'm not using that crap anymore. If I use anything else, it's going to be something that I made. It's not going to be some chemicals from the store.
Yeah.
And so that was an orange male tabby. She's an orange female tabby. So I kind of feel like I'm making up for that orange tabby with her.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not the same at all. Like the male tabby, I think he just can't really be replaced. He was like the perfect cat.
Yeah, they are lovely. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like he didn't whine when I would like try to feed him. He would just patiently wait. He was just really always happy to see me. And
nice, isn't it?
of course, he would chase the squirrels around. And she doesn't really do much of anything. She just lies around and whines.
Yeah.
As soon as I come outside, just like.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be without my cats. They are such fun, and all my neighbours love them. Everybody likes them.
Yeah, my neighbor does not like cats, which is actually a good thing because she won't ring my doorbell. I don't like her stupid dog. Her dog is annoying.
All right.
As soon as I go outside, her dog starts barking at me. I can't get my gardening done.
All right. Yeah.
And so, like, if she's not outside, I'll spray him with my water hose so he'll leave me alone.
Yes. Yes. That's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good idea. Actually, my comfrey started growing. I told you I bought a comfrey last year. The whole plant, it died, but it's come back. It's growing again. Last year's comfrey is growing.
Yeah, the comfrey that I have in my backyard is common comfrey, which is used medicinally, but it doesn't grow. It's not a vigorous grower. It doesn't. It's not like the Russian comfrey. The Russian comfrey is not really medicinal, but it grows tall and it has more. What do you call it? It produces more foliage, and it goes deeper in the ground. And you use that to fix your soil. So I just bought some of that type, the Russian comfrey. I don't know, and the difference is that the Russian comfrey is sterile. The seeds don't germinate, but you can only propagate them through the roots. You have to take a tiny piece of the root and then stick it in the ground, and it'll come back up.
All right. I mean, I'm just growing it for decoration, So, yeah.
Well, I mean, if you don't, I would try to figure out what type of comfrey you have. If it is common comfrey, then I guess both can be used medicinally, but the common comfrey is more concentrated than a Russian comfrey.
All right.
So for all your like joint pains, and if you have any wounds and things like that, you would use the common comfrey.
Good stuff, though, isn't it? Oof, it doesn't half work.
Yeah, it does work.
It does work. Ooh. Another thing the NHS Big Pharma keeps away from us. Because I tell you, when I had my broken elbow, it worked like a dream. It really did work. Yeah, fabulous stuff. Okay. Yeah.
So y'all were on DNW's channel. I don't even remember what the topic was. Some of these topics make me feel excluded, especially when they were talking about the relationship between men and women. I'm like, what am I supposed to say? Like I tried to and then it's like I tried to pivot and just try to make it like about my relationship with men, and he's just like, no, stick to the topic. It's about women. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, you mean about my mother? Like,
well, that's what I thought. Relations, like you can have a relation with a friend. Like you're just in, like being very strict about the term. How do you relate to people? You know what I mean? Like that's how I came into it. Everyone did come into it with like, oh, relationship, but I have a relationship with my friends. Technically, I have a relationship with my bosses. Like relationship just means that's how I see it. And I think your experiences with women is valuable to hear.
I don't know, because I mean, I've had some negative experiences, and then if I do share it, it may sound misogynist, but it is what it is. If I was abused by my mother, and I've had friends who I mean,
well,
I talk about
that's
it.
why, like, until you explained it to me, I didn't understand you, because I've had positive experiences. So, you know, and I don't come in trying to debate you, because obviously if you've had negative experiences, I'm not going to say like, you know.
Well, I mean, it's just they can hit you. You can't hit them back.
Mm-hmm.
They can sort of, do you wrong, like borrow money, not pay it back, and then you're not allowed to say anything. You can't, what I mean? It's not the same thing as a man who you can actually hold accountable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know some people don't care about that. They will hold women accountable, but I feel like almost, I don't know. It's like if they start crying and acting, like damsel in distress, I feel like, I'm the man who's being an aggressor towards a woman. So it just, it sort of puts you at a disadvantage.
Yeah. But I'll tell you something, actually, guys. I've never, ever, until very recently, heard the issue of the horrors of motherhood actually talked about and written about. Until very recently. All these years I've been on this planet, I've never heard it. Because I wouldn't be a mother for all the teen. I wouldn't be a mother for anything. It's one thing I don't envy and never have envied it. Because to me, it's an absolute horror show. The whole pregnancy, breastfeeding, getting fat, everything. I just think, God Almighty, no. But apparently, a lot of women feel that way, but they still do it. That's what I don't understand about women. But you never hear it talked about, ever. True, though.
I wish I knew. You know that woman, Melanie, who was just on DNW's channel the other day?
No, Polly wasn't there, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I like her. She seems cool.
Well, I can't find her channel because I wanted to tag her in the live stream, in this live stream about anarchy, and how I think it relates to anti-natalism. But because I couldn't really fully explain myself, and she was just basically saying, well, it's just a natural biological drive, and I'm just like, well, if having sex with someone of the opposite sex produces consequence of enslaving someone to the state, then maybe they should not be having sex, or maybe they should at least use birth control. Like you don't get to say that just because I'm straight that I get to enslave human beings to the state.
I don't know, something
I think
I
that's a
just
very
haven't got.
Did
it's a
that? I
very
remember that
pinpoint.
discussion. Did that happen yesterday?
That was like a few days ago, and I was just
Oh,
like, this is actually. And I was trying, but you're trying to explain it, and then somebody else wants to talk, so you can't really express it fully. And I don't think she got what I was saying. Like, I'm not saying you can't have sex with someone of the opposite sex, but that does not justify enslaving them to the state. And I mean, I don't. I guess anarchists are not necessarily the same, but there is a whole concept of parental anarchy that that whole parent-child relationship is hierarchical. Um, and also Rousseau talked. I don't know if you listened to the beginning of this live stream. Anyway, Rousseau talked about the legitimate authority of a parent, and basically, no parent has the authority to alienate their child's liberty. So my position is that procreating in the state of nature is not the same as procreating under the state of society, where they're born with a social security number, all these obligations, um, laws that they never consented to, social expectations. You can't work without an occupation license. You're basically enslaving them to the state, and you don't have the authority to do that.
Mm. Yeah.
So I really would. I don't know. We're sort of tacking on to that whole argument, but I don't know. I don't know who's actually going to listen to it from the beginning and actually respond to it.
Yeah, I don't know what goes to the human mind with this whole thing, actually. So whatever it is, I don't have it, never have. Just isn't there.
I don't know why just saying it's natural is somehow presenting an argument.
Hmm.
Well, I think what she's trying to say is morally neutral. You're not enslaving someone. You're just creating a baby, but it's not morally neutral.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because you already know these institutions exist, and you know that you're giving them a birth certificate and a social security number.
Mm.
You understand fully what is happening.
Yeah. Yeah. People don't see. I mean, I don't know what life is like in Canada and everything, but here in England, if you're working class or even lower middle class, the housing conditions are shocking. It's so crowded that it amazes me that people want to actually add another human being to it. I just don't understand it. And I've never understood.
Well, they all say that overpopulation is a myth, but when you listen to them, they don't understand what it actually means. They don't understand the economics behind the overpopulation theory.
Good Lord.
They literally think that as long as there's room for everybody, then that means it's not overpopulated.
Jesus
Wait,
Christ.
do you agree with Malthus?
Yes, I do.
Oh, that's a spicy take.
What's that?
It's I'm trying to think of the thing that he wrote. I haven't had this discussion in a very long time. I forgot the details.
Well, basically,
Malthusian, like, you ever heard of the term Malthusian?
yeah, I've done content on it.
Yeah.
What's his first
Basically,
name?
there's a natural limit for population growth, and because of government intervention, humans can actually exceed their carrying capacity through intervention, through technology and medical treatments and vaccines and all that, and through the allocation of food redistribution. You can basically have infinite population growth. And people try to get around the overpopulation theory to say, oh, you can just build more roads, you can build more housing, but that is not infinite. Eventually, you're going to run into a brick wall. I didn't understand. I didn't realize that people actually thought that you can just have infinite population growth and it's never going to be a problem. People actually believe that.
Yeah, they actually believe it. That's what I don't understand about them, because to me it's as clear as day, always has been. Even as a little girl, I could see it.
But when you look at the fact that there's not enough jobs, there's not enough housing, what that really means is that there are too many people. But their response is it's just not managed properly. If the food was if there wasn't waste, then there'd be enough to go around. But the problem is that the food is not being managed properly. So based on the food and the housing that is available, you have more people than you're able to provide for. Otherwise, everybody would have jobs and there would be no homelessness or food insecurity.
Yeah, they just don't see it. I've never understood it.
I think they're just looking for an excuse.
I've never understood.
I was actually a part of the, I don't know if y'all had it in Canada and the UK, the Occupy movement.
Well, we've got something like that, yeah.
Yeah, we had that, yeah.
Anyway, I was at one of their meetings and I was just talking about, I mean, to me, it's something that I studied in my master's program. And so I just mentioned it tangentially. And one of the guys said, well, if you think the world is populated, then you should just kill yourself. I'm just like, that is such a stupid argument. Like, clearly this person had children and he was being defensive. I didn't even know that I was offending him. And the way their meetings were structured, it's like they have all these rules about what, and he spoke out of turn, by the way. But if I would have responded, then basically I would have been censored or whatever. Like, I don't know if you ever saw Orange is the New Black, where they have the stupid spirits fingers and stuff. And I don't remember all the signs, but it was so retarded. Yeah, so he could tell me that I should just kill myself. But if I responded out of turn, I would basically be censored. Like, they have these stupid rules.
That's incredible.
And I wasted so much time with them thinking that if I supported their causes, because I went to their stupid protest, which I thought did not accomplish anything. I was on the side of the roads holding signs and stuff. And then when I tried to organize my protest, they didn't even come. That's what I'm talking about the extraction. I've seen it so many times where you support them and nobody ever supports you.
Well, that's, LA, that's life. You'll find that out when you get older. Oh, gee, you just clocked onto that. You just clocked onto that.
No, but when I tell people don't submit to one side of the extraction, they're just like, oh, you're just selfish, you're a narcissist. It's like, no, I know how the world works. And if you don't get yours first, they're not going to reciprocate. So you need to make your demand. If they want you to help them, then they have to help you.
That's right. Right, LA, that's the grim, brutal reality. Yeah. Yes. Grim, brutal truth, yes.
I always have a brain hiccup when people conflate when people use selfishness as a negative, because I see it as rational egoism.
Yes, exactly.
But what they actually mean is like stuff like narcissistic traits, and I just see those as different things.
Right. I'm not trying to exploit anybody. I'm just saying it should be reciprocal. I help you, you help me.
But life's not like that, Lele. That's one thing I've learned about life. Life's not like that. It isn't.
So the people who are actually being narcissistic are the people who want to extract without reciprocating.
Yes, but they're like that.
Exactly. Yep.
So they're like that. Like, shall I tell you something? This happened to me, okay? I do a lot of gardening and stuff, and I'm one of these weirdo green people gardening and everything. And I get people ask me to help them with their gardening. But when I need a bit of help with something, no one there. Nobody. And on one occasion, my neighbours said to me, Liz, can you do so and so for me? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, I can't help you today. My hands are sore. She turned around and said to me, you should try a bit harder with your hands. And that's the reality of it all.
Mm.
Right. I remember one time this guy was outside asking for money, and I only had like $20. Um, but I knew I was getting more money, so I just like gave him 5, and he's just like, "Is that it?" And I'm just like, "I didn't have to give you that. You didn't even earn it. Like I was, I actually could have used that $5, but I felt sorry for you." So this is why I don't do it anymore, because they
Yeah.
do feel entitled. I'm just tired of, like, you're a random stranger. I'm not your parent. I did not create you. I don't owe you anything, and yet you think. See, this is the part that is so ridiculous, that they will say that a random stranger has a duty to help other strangers, but they don't think that parents owe their children anything. The people who actually created you, it's like, oh no, they raised you until the age of 18, and now they don't owe you anything. How does that work? Why does a random stranger have a greater duty to you than your actual parents?
Yeah, it's a strange issue.
And I don't know if you listened to that live stream when Witchy was on here. I had that study which showed basically that somewhere around 50% of people believe that parents owe their children nothing once they reach the age of 18.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was more.
Yeah.
It may have been more, but this was a Pew research study. I don't know where that study is, but it's not, because she didn't believe me. She thought that I was making it up. She's like, all the parents I know, they all know that they have a duty to help their children into adulthood. I'm like, I don't think that's true.
Wow, really? Damn.
Wait,
That I would have loved. Yeah, because like I grew up in a different environment. You're
Yeah.
18, get the fuck out. That's how
oh,
it's
you
around here.
lucky. I heard it's 17, a little 17-year-old girl. That's why I
I've heard
joined the
that.
Navy.
Yeah, that's fucked up in my opinion. But yeah,
Yes, yes. And my brother Raymond didn't leave home till he was 32 or something bloody ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah.
it really depends on your environment for sure.
Yeah. Well, my brother was the golden child. I was the scapegoat. Sad reality, isn't it?
Because like socially, I thought it was like maybe 80% thought they wouldn't need to help their children after 18, but then that's just anecdotal. I haven't actually looked at the numbers, but it's just I come across those types of parents a lot.
There's a lot of that about.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot. Then they realize, I don't know. I think half of the military, looking back, I think most people, young people in the military, come from that sort of a background, looking back on it all.
Yeah, military. And if you look at like homeless places and shelters, they have young people there because they've been kicked out or they can't make it on their own. Yeah, I mean, it
Yeah.
happens all the time.
Happens all the time because I think the military's full of it. It wasn't.
But if it's 50-50, that changes my perspective on it. So that's interesting.
I don't remember the exact numbers. I mean, let me see if I can find it.
And even the parents that I know that do help, it's like very, very, it's like my children have to be in an emergency situation. That's the kind of attitude they have. So I don't know.
It's bad, isn't it? Isn't that terrible?
I think it's terrible, yeah, but this is kind of normalized where in my social circle.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Do you know it's that bad?
Well, maybe it isn't that bad. Maybe it's better in America, or again, it's just anecdotes is based on your individual experiences, and if we all have different individual experiences, we can't really extrapolate that to make a generalization.
Well, but if parents are disinheriting their children, then clearly they don't believe that they owe their children anything.
Right.
So she was basically saying that my whole framework of the moral debt for life enslavement is unnecessary because parents already feel that obligation. I'm like, I don't think that's true at all.
I mean, maybe in her like social circumstance, maybe she's around people like that.
So tell you something, Marcus. British military, a lot of, when you join the military, a lot of men, when they leave the military after 22 years, here in the UK, they land up on the streets because you don't learn anything about how to buy a house when you're in the military. They come out of whatever. They don't know how to even find somewhere to live because no one's ever taught them that. They end up on the streets, ex-soldiers living on the streets. In the UK, it's very common.
We do have, well, if you're in the military and you have like PTSD and like they have injuries and medical things, but if you're in your 20s and you go for a few years, I think you should be able to figure out how to get an apartment.
It's not that, you know what, Marcus? And I speak for myself with all this, actually. When I came out, because if you come from that screwed up background, then you join up, blah, 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 blah. You haven't had that grounding. It's a really weird thing. Ever so strange how it's weird.
Buying a house is complicated, but renting an apartment, not that complicated.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. You wouldn't. I tell you something, it's hard to believe, but I went through. Luckily, I managed to get a job, and I left the Navy. I got a job in a hotel for a year. Well, not a year, till I could work my head out all around it all. But if you've come from a really shitty childhood and then join up, say, you're 22 years, when you come out of the mob, you're so brainwashed because in the mob, everything's done for you. You get provided housing or you get the mess to live in or whatever. When you come out, you've got no idea how Civvy Street works. I know it sounds hard to believe, but it's actually no idea how it all works. I know that sounds hard to believe. I can see how this, I've heard this horrible story about people in the military who've left and they don't even know how to function in Civvy Street, literally.
Yeah, and I know veterans that are struggling for sure.
Yeah. It's ever so strange. I mean, yeah, I went through to this bit myself.
Marcus, I meant to ask you the other day, did you speak French?
No.
I was just curious because isn't that like common in Canada?
Yeah, it's mandatory up until grade 9, and then you don't have to take it anymore. I was dumb and I stopped taking it. I should have, because it opens up opportunities if you can be bilingual.
Yeah, in America it's like Spanish. If nobody speaks. Some people speak French, but it's primarily Spanish.
I mean, I struggled to even get through up to grade 9 in French, but honestly, like, I know I would have bitched and complained as a kid, but I would have said, for your long-term future, suck it up, buttercup, and learn it.
Yes.
I tried several times to learn Spanish, and it just never stopped. I don't know. I think that you really need to teach. If you want kids to be bilingual, you should teach them when they're really young. But, like, if they try to learn, like, it's just difficult to learn as an adult or, like, high school or something.
Mm. Well, they started us in elementary school. Other people seem to pick it up really easy. I struggled with it. I'm like, you're literally speaking to me in another language. I don't know how you're supposed to. I'm supposed to translate these two things. If you're teaching in a language that I don't understand, how am I supposed to learn the language? It's just I don't know. It confused me. You have to teach me the language in English. Anyway.
I tried to take French too, and she was actually from France, and she I guess other people picked up on it because they already spoke Spanish or something, so they understood how Romance languages work. And I had no background in Romance languages or Latin languages, and she just got really nasty with me because she basically got to a point where she was no longer speaking in English. She just started speaking in French, and I didn't understand the word she was saying.
Yeah, same.
So I just dropped the class.
Yeah. My teachers just like gave up speaking English and they just speak French. And I'm like, okay, well now I'm just hearing a bunch of sounds and I don't know what the hell is going on. So I just sit there until the end of the class and hope for the best. I mean, in English, you don't have feminine and masculine words and sounds and stuff like that. I'm not saying one's better than the other. It's just, it's different. And yeah, anyways, I struggled a lot, but I passed somehow. There was a time I actually knew how to speak a little bit of Korean and a little bit of Japanese, surprisingly.
For some reason,
I was just bored, so I was like, I'll try and learn a language, and I actually, yeah.
For some reason, I mean, I'm not fluent, but I picked up on Korean easier than I did like on French and Spanish.
Nice.
I think it's because they talk so, especially Spanish, they talk so fast. I can't even tell like where the word starts and where it ends. It just sounds like one like long string of words that are just like joined together.
Your girl Terry's in the chat.
But I don't know. I mean, I guess I really need to get my life together. And it's just like I've been in a rut for a long time. And basically nobody's going to come and rescue me. And then when I was looking at, I had deactivated my Facebook account. But then when I looked at my friends on there and they're like all living their best life, I'm just like, I don't know. I need to step my game up, I guess.
Oh, it motivated you. Interesting.
Well, but I didn't feel that that I had control over my situation. But I did. Well, basically, I'm going to have to move. If I stay in this state, I'm going to stay in the same situation. If I move to another state, then I can have a fresh start.
Nice. Yeah, I know some people who did that.
But it's risky because I don't know that I'm going to be able to get a job. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Right.
But yeah, some of these states have different rules in terms of their occupational licensing structure. And I just assumed that they were all the same. And it's like, no, they're not. In a different state, the character and fitness requirements are different.
I know a Canadian, like a friend of mine, who went to California. And she just said she's done with this, moved. She's doing well right now. But she lived in a tent when she got there. I was like, do you have any plans? She's like, nope. And I'm like, do you have a job lined up? She's like, nope. But I'm out. And I'm like, okay. I was kind of worried. And then, yeah, eventually, I don't know. She figured it out. And now she's doing all right. But damn, to me, it's a risk. But at the same time, when you got nothing to lose, you know, what do you do?
Well, I mean, at least I have a house. I have a job. I mean, I'm not like doing well.
But if you're miserable, right? Like that's what I mean. Like I have a job in an apartment as well, but it's like if you hate waking up every day, then.
But it's like things could possibly get worse. Like I could end up not having a job and just struggling even more.
Well, that's why I'm stuck in the same cycle for the past for a long time. But some people,
because I've seen these videos on TikTok of people who lived in like, I don't know, some smaller city where they were making good money, and then they moved to New York and they're just like baristas making like $10 an hour.
Yeah, that's the other outcome that can happen, right? It is a risk, but the thing is like, is it tolerable enough now to keep going as you are, or do you need a change?
I don't know. I think in this economy, it is, but it's hard to know what the right decision is, because I think I've made some mistakes in the past too, where I had opportunities, but I didn't like where I was, like the location, and I say, oh, well, I want to go to a bigger city, and I can make it there too. And it's like, no, if you know, hindsight is 2020. Um, I was offered a position, but I didn't like it, and I didn't like where I was living. It was boring. They were like, no, I mean, I don't know. Like my soul, it was boring as hell and depressing, and so I decided to move to a bigger city. And I don't know if that was a mistake because I feel like in smaller towns they're more willing to help you because it's not so competitive. But in larger cities, it's like more cutthroat.
I noticed the same thing too. I was in a small town before.
Because at the time they just thought I was just some like undergrad student who was just trying to, you know, get some experience. But then when they actually saw how much education I had, they started getting really like secret information, and yeah, I don't, and they started trying to like sabotage me and stuff, and it's just like because they knew that I was more qualified than them, but I wasn't trying to screw anybody over. I just wanted to get my foot in the door. I would have started entry level. But they look at you like you're more than what you actually see yourself. They're like, oh, you have all this education, and you're like, no, I don't. I may have education, but I don't have any experience. I just want to learn and work my way up like everybody else. So like having the, I don't know. It's one of the mistakes that I really regret. I wish I just would have gotten my undergrad and just stopped there, or gotten a professional degree as opposed to an academic degree. Um, yeah, I just, but at the same time, if your parents don't tell you, then you don't know any better.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah. No guidance.
And if I ever do make it, my mom is not getting credit for any of it because she didn't do anything to help me. She just stressed me out and made it worse. Because I know what she wants. I mean, I don't talk to her, but she would want bragging rights for herself. Oh wow! I just got another subscriber today.
Slowly but surely.
I'm wondering. I mean, I wish I knew where these people are finding me from. Like how? Like I don't know. Clearly, this new person didn't find me from DNW, but I don't know like how to build my audience. I'm trying to. Maybe I need to look at my analytics again.
More venting and ranting and saying how life sucks if you want the anti-natalist to. Those channels do really well. Just title some videos, life sucks, life is hell, and just vent. People told me
Wow!
I should do that, but
Only 38% of my subscribers are in the United States.
oh,
79% are male, and 64% are within the age of 25 to 34.
what are the other countries?
It just says United Kingdom 2%, Canada 1%, and then I guess they're sort of mixed from there.
Interesting.
I don't know. I guess when you live in the United States, you just assume everything is centered around the United States. But yeah, I don't even think that I'm talking to people in other countries. That's why most of my content I'm talking about U.S. law and stuff like, or what goes on in the U.S. But yeah,
Mine is United States 24.5%, Canada 9%. Oh, cool. I didn't know that. I had Russia up there at some point. Now India's following me.
This is so funny. The anti-natalism informant. Yeah, that's how a lot of people remember me.
So where did you get that?
Australia, nice. I got Australia on my back, nice, and Germany. I like
What did you
Australia.
say, Chickpea?
Yeah, what'd you say,
Where
Chicky?
did you get that information from? How do you do that?
If you have a YouTube channel, you gotta. Well, you don't have any videos, right?
No. Oh right. No, I don't put anything out. No.
There's a section on your. If you did have videos, there's a section that says analytics, and then you could look into
Oh
people
right.
who.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh right. No, yeah, I don't have any. I'm too introverted to put anything out.
We got Philippines, Netherlands, South Africa, and Ireland.
Oh wow.
Well, I consider myself to be an introvert too. I don't know. I don't think this is as intimate as talking to like a group. Like I feel like, first of all, I'm not showing my face, even though I could. But I kind of control when I want to do and when I don't want to do. It's not the same as like living with somebody or sharing a workspace with someone. I don't like that at all. And one of the things that is actually driving me crazy is like people's lack of hygiene, how they're constantly eating and licking their fingers and picking their nose and stuff. I just like, and then I know that some of these people are going to the restroom and not washing their hands. I don't like any of that stuff.
You know what bugs me actually, and I've noticed it on DNW's thing. Well, it is just there. They come on here as high as kites, drunk, and then sit there wittering and twitching about how happy they are. Well, obviously, and I don't mind people getting drunk and getting high, but I find when I'm stone cold sober, I don't want to have to listen to them. It really bugs me.
Ha, same.
You get it as well. Oh, it drives
Well,
me.
it's a weird thing. Like I kind of when I'm drinking, I like it, but damn, when I'm sober and I'm seeing how people are acting, I'm like, oh God, I don't want to look like that or sound
really
like
gets
that.
my nerves. Really
What I
gets
don't like is that like people are having like a meaningful interaction, and then the drunk people will just like intervene with their like drunken gibberish, and it's just like
exactly.
you're not even saying anything. Like you should just shut up and let the sober people talk.
Yeah.
But there was a guy on the other night witching and twitching about how we should be thankful and this and that and everything. He was as high as a kite. You could see his pupils, you know. I thought, oh my goodness. Well, I suppose it's easy to be happy if you're as high as a kite all day long.
It's such
I'd
a
be
bad idea to get like that intoxicated and high and then go on the internet for the world to see. Like especially
Yeah. It's easy to be happy if you're constantly doped up.
yeah.
Even I'm happy when I haven't been doped up for years.
No, I don't. Well, that's never going to happen. They're never going to get tax credits for those who procreate. They're given incentives to procreate because they need you to legitimize the state. They need more slaves, so that's why they do it. And so it actually does put a burden on those who are child free. That if they're getting tax credits, you're the one who's paying for those tax credits. You blame yourself for what? I don't know. What were we just talking about? I'm not sure what she means by that. But yeah, if it was a fair system, we would be getting the tax credits because we're using fewer resources. But it's really perverse. It's like the people who use the people who extract the most from the system get rewarded for it. And some people are actually get more money than they put into it. because of their tax credits. So they're literally paying no taxes. Hey, Patsy.
Hey y'all, what's going on with you?
Not much. We're just
What's the topic?
well. I started out talking about why anarchists should be anti-natalist, but we're not even talking about that anymore.
You know what's funny? You have so much negative experiences with women in real life, but online, you wouldn't think that.
No,
Think
no,
about
no.
all
Like,
the.
I can be friends with a woman. That's not the same thing as like
I
dating
know.
a
I'm just
woman.
thinking about all the women that like come onto your channel. It's just kind of funny because
But I'm just saying, me, like she being me and some others that come on.
witchy
We're,
wishy
we're in the
bishy
we're in the minority. Okay, we think a lot more like a man.
and divine.
I mean, we think more like men than women. That's the way I figure it. It seems like it to me. I've always thought that I think more like a man than I do a woman. I don't know.
Right. It's just like in certain environments, like if you get really close to a woman as a friend, especially as a gay guy, they sort of treat you as like their de facto boyfriend, even though you're not having sex with them. And then you're like basically expected to pay for everything, cater to their emotional needs, and they basically don't need a boyfriend because you are their boyfriend in a way. And then um, I don't know, I just see a lack of reciprocity where when you need emotional support, it's like, oh, get over it, you're a man, like.
So they treat you like a surrogate boyfriend instead of like one of the girls. Is that it?
Yeah, and it's sort of confusing because it's like you're their boyfriend, but at the same time they call it, hey girl, hey girl. This is like, am I a girl
Oh,
or am I your man? Like, what is this?
that's interesting. Yeah, because my female friends they do treat me like one reciprocated and
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always reciprocate. Of course. Um, because to me they're like a good friend.
well, I think in some of their perspective, they see me as one of the girls, but then I see them as like one of the boys. That's how I act around them. Like they're like tomboyish. Well,
Yeah.
some of them anyway. But like it's just the way that we see each other. It's like there's no we're just seeing the other person like a brother sister kind of thing. But if you verbally tell a person like, oh, you're one of the girls, but then you treat them like a surrogate boyfriend or a surrogate girlfriend, I could see that adding even more complexity to the situation. I can't relate. I don't. If I can relate, it would have happened a long time ago. Like nothing's popping up in my head.
I just know every time I went out with them, it was never a question. I was always the one who had to pay for everything. I always had to cater to their emotional needs. But if I had emotional needs, they just threw me off. Yeah, like I even had one friend who I was there for through all of her stuff with all of her man problems because her boyfriend completely dogged her out. I was supposed to be studying for finals for law school, and she just calls me crying. And I came over, brought her food, and tried to. I mean, she just wouldn't. She knew I was supposed to be studying, but she didn't care. And then when I had my problems, she told me I don't cater men. I don't coddle men. Like
Wow.
basically, you're a man, so just deal with it.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know about somebody like that. I wouldn't be around anybody like that. Mm-mm.
Well, I didn't know it. It's not until like you have your issues that you realize how they actually see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I think some cultures or some demographics are more like feminist, and then some are just like very traditional. No matter how progressive they pretend to be, they still see you as just being a man. And it's like, you're a man, you don't have any feelings. You're just here to protect and provide.
Mm.
But I don't know. I've had some good women friends, and most of my friends have always been women anyway. Even though I did feel it was like one-sided. I rarely had like male friends unless they were like gay.
Yeah, I mean, just like I say, I've always leaned toward guys, the males. When I relate to, every time I talk to a woman, I don't know, it's just so much crap, that you have to deal with. I mean, they're snide, they're jealous, they're,
You know what,
You know,
Patsy? I've always found that about women.
petty, drama, all
Mm.
kinds of crap. And I'm thinking too deep to deal with stuff like that, They're very superficial.
It's even worse in a workplace because there's so much drama and gossiping and stuff, and it's just so unnecessary. Like if I work with a man, it's different from working with a woman. I feel like they can't separate their personal feelings from like the work environment. It's like,
yeah,
can you just be professional? Why do we have to be like gossiping and backstabbing people?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what women do, though. Fortunately, that's why
women are very competitive with each other too.
Okay. I don't want to
think
get pushback because everybody has different experiences. The competitive nature of men exists. It's kind of like a stereotype of men, right?
Yeah, but Marcus, men don't speak. When I was in the Navy, I always noticed that the men, even though there's all the whole status thing, they don't keep pushing it down each other's throats. Whereas women do. Oh boy. You know what? Those POs and the officers, the Reds, they were an absolute pain. I mean, horrible to deal with. Whereas the men don't do that to each other. They don't. I tell you, women are terrible for it. Dreadful. Really bad.
Yeah, they'll bite you. They'll stab you in the back in a minute. Yeah, a woman will stab another woman in the back in a minute, not even blink.
Yeah,
For a corporate in a corporate ladder, do you think a man would stab another man in the back?
Yes, but not like women do.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Okay, fine. Yeah, the expression of backstabbing will be different, sure, but they both backstab.
Yeah, but when I was in the Navy, I really noticed the difference between how the men treat each other, regardless of rank, to how the women treat each other. And I tell you something.
They're more respect. Yeah, they're more respectful of each other. Men are.
Yes, there's more respect.
I think men respect each other more.
Yes. Just basic respect.
Yeah.
I also have a suspicion. This is just speculation. I have no evidence. That when people I think the way men treat women and the way men treat other men is going to be perceived differently depending on your standpoint. So, for example, you might not see the harshness other men do to other men because when men interact with you, they might have been treating you differently.
Okay, let me just say this. You're correct, but at the same time, even if those men are doing that, that's not masculinity, that's femininity. So they're still displaying feminine traits. Men can be cutthroat, and a lot of times they're narcissists, which is not masculine at all. That's feminine.
Okay, that's a hot take. I don't okay, what are feminine and masculine traits, like, if you were to categorize them? Because usually competition is seen as a masculine thing, right?
Women are far worse at Marcus, I promise you. I told when I was in the Navy, it made my hair fall out in the end, these bitches, these Wrens. That's why I left. It was so bad. In Wren's quarters, right, I used to go hiking up in the Highlands in Scotland, and used to get male officers, female officers, male sailors, and Wrens. the officers would allow the ratings to call them by their first name. We had to call the Wren officers Mom, even though we were trekking through the Highlands. And that's what women are like towards their inferiors.
I mean, when I was in school, you know, a little girl, and I was in elementary school, the boys weren't bullying me. It was the girls.
Yeah, I was bullied by girls, yeah.
It was the girls.
This is what, yeah, oh,
Okay,
we
because
have a
they were.
presentation.
Oh, that's not. Let me end that because I need to find a better one.
But that's my point. So yes, in school, all my female friends got bullied by other females. I totally get that. But at the same time, they were being treated by men differently because, well, guess what? The men wanted something out of the girls. And the boys would bully each other. But the thing is, the girls weren't seeing the male bullying because they were getting bullied by other girls. That's what I'm trying to say. Is like, it's a perspective.
Marcus.
What?
I'm just saying what I saw when I was in the
I'm
Navy.
not denying what you saw. I'm just saying, like, the perspective, like this, where you stand, is going to inform how you view the other gender.
I do know that.
Sorry to interrupt you. What were you saying?
Talk to me.
Yeah, I was speaking, but I think I interrupted you. Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I was just saying when I was in the Navy, I saw how men tend to treat each other far better in a group situation of different status than women do. Women can be utter bitches. And I'll tell you something else. I worked in the city. I used to work as a temp sometimes, and I hate it when I have to work for a female solicitor. I absolutely hated it.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, women can be really power mad little bitches. They can be. Especially if you're better looking than them. Oh, dearie me. Then they really throw it about. Did you notice that, Patsy?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah. Oh, dearie me.
Yes, I took it hard in that respect. I took it hard because when I was a little girl, Mama used to dress me up real, nice, nice little outfit, color coordinate, and and I have to say I was a pretty little girl. I'm gonna say it, and I think I still am. But anyway, they didn't like it. They could sense that I was different, and so they really came down on me when I was a kid. The little girls.
I can well believe it.
Yeah.
I used to notice in the city sometimes.
And then you got the gossiping behind your back.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I noticed that in the city as well between women. I used to work as a temp sometimes. I used to work as a temp quite often, and I'd go and work somewhere, and the bitching that went on about the person who I was sitting in for, it was horrendous. I couldn't believe it. The bitching.
Yeah.
It was absolutely incredible. I think the trouble with women is they seem to get, because I think women are in charge of the home, because it's their space, they tend to take that feeling into the office and say, this is my space, when it's not their space at all anymore. It's a communal space. Regardless of your status, it's a communal space. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also noticed it because I used to be, I found, I shouldn't say it, but I'll say it. If there was an obese female around, I could guarantee there'd be problems. And I could guarantee it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, women can be cruel, man. I mean,
yeah.
I'm actually more scared of women than men because of the psychological cruelty. I know men can beat me up. That's one thing. But the psychological cruelty that even, again, most of my friends are women, and that gave me an insight into like what they can do towards one another that is frightening, honestly. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, there's a saying for a reason.
Yes.
You're right about that. It's more mental, psychological, put you down, to bully you, put you down or something, that's mental. They don't do it physically, no. But the men would do
it's
it.
like the holding on to things. So like men, you piss someone off, like I'll probably get a punch in the face, and then the next week he forgot about me. But a woman scorned, they will plan for the next 2 years how to destroy your life psychologically, slowly, and I swear it's so scary.
Like vengeance, a lot of vengeance, payback. That kind of thing. But
Mm.
you know, I'm
But
glad
I
I'm not.
think there's a reason for that. I think there's a reason for that. Like, if you can't punch back, then what tool do you have at your
Yeah.
disposal, right? You're gonna psychologically try and get back somehow. We're not on an even playing field, so.
But at the end of the day, life is all about survival of the fittest, survival of the most fertile, survival of this, survival of that. So we're all inherently built that way to behave like this.
Right.
Sad reality.
Right, and it's also gang up on the other person. Gang up.
Oh,
I mean, get a group up against this person. You know. You know what I'm talking about? So that's another disgusting aspect of it.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
life is just, I don't know. It's just disgusting sometimes the way, and it's society we're talking about, of course.
I tell
It's
you,
not life
Patsy,
itself.
I live with 7 cats, and I've never seen 7 humans get on so well with each other as what my 7 cats do. They treat each other far, far nicer than we do. They're far nicer
Oh
to
yeah,
each other.
of course, yeah. Animals. That's why I love it. I, you know, I've got my dog. You've seen Preston, you know, and you know, I'd much rather have have Preston than a child any day. I
Oh God,
mean,
yes.
oh God. I mean, he's the perfect child, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, he is just perfection. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know. He could do no wrong. He just I don't know how to explain it. He's
Oh, I know what you're
beautiful.
saying.
He's beautiful. He's sweet. He never does anything wrong. He just
Yeah. Exactly what you're saying.
So and they don't talk back, but they hear you. They know what you're saying. They understand what you're saying, but they don't talk back. But they tell you what they want at the same time. So
Yes.
I mean, it's just a beautiful relationship. You know, it's just. But the kids are totally different. I mean, God. Oh God.
So I don't know if y'all can see that chart. Can y'all see that?
Yes.
So I guess we all know the traits of masculinity and femininity, but men they can have emotional suppression, inability to process their feelings. They can be overly aggressive. They can abuse their power. They maybe they don't seek help. They can be overly competitive. They can have transactional relationships. Women, femininity, because that's not necessarily about women, but they can be excessively emotional. They can be hysterical. They can be passive. They can be codependent, indirect aggression, gossiping, spreading rumors, manipulative, deceit. But that goes into what I was talking to you before about Mary Wollstonecraft, about how women display these traits in the presence of men. That basically women can't have virtue in the presence of men because of the way society is structured. They have to be manipulative and cunning in order to get the protection and favor of men. That basically, this is her theory, but she's basically saying that when women have financial independence, they display more virtue. But when they're dependent on men, they have to manipulate people in order to get their way because they're not physically dominant.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That makes sense to me.
Well, to answer your question, at the beginning of this live stream, I did talk about anarchy, but then when it came on, we started talking about different things. So if you want to catch the part about anarchy, you can listen to the beginning of it.
Okay.
This is somebody in the comments.
Anarchy in what respect? What are we talking about?
I was basically saying why an anarchist should not procreate.
Oh, like meaning somebody that stands up for an anarchist. Like
Right.
somebody stand-
Anarchists are against illegitimate authority. And so, what I was saying at the beginning of it is that you're basically enslaving someone to the state. And just because you have the power to do that, does not give you legitimate authority to do that. And so, if you're an anarchist and you're against hierarchical structures, then the root cause of all structures is the parent-child relationship. The parent-child relationship is hierarchical.
Yeah, oh yeah. Mhm. Did any of y'all see Danny's latest video
No.
Yes,
on
I've
his channel?
seen it. Yeah, very good, isn't it?
It was very good.
Yes, like Danny.
He was on the street, you know.
Yeah, the
and,
Leicester Square.
uh,
I know that. We used to do animal rights demonstrations there a lot years ago.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
But I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just like you say. It's that's a lot of power there. You're talking about. I mean, if you think about two people getting together and having a kid, okay, bringing a child into this world without their consent, that is a very powerful thing to do, and people are using that power.
It's horrible,
Okay.
isn't it?
Matter of fact, I think they like that feeling, that powerful feeling.
You know what else I think is what I think they do to show off? Look at what we've done. I mean, what there is to show off is a mystery. Because I saw my mother in her second marriage. She had this child, and it was like they were showing off to the world. Look at us, we've got this happy marriage. Look how fertile I am. Blah blah blah. But back behind closed doors,
Mm-hmm.
they weren't so fond of this child. I got the feeling, looking back on it all.
Yes, it's kind of like this Facebook situation, you know. It's kind of like this Facebook damn situation, okay? I mean, everybody's always posting their pictures and all, and you know, and they're thinking, "Ooh, this must be bliss," you know. These people are look at them, how happy they are. Well, they're probably miserable when the camera turns off,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
when they don't have
their own family.
the selfie, when they're not taking their selfies, okay,
Yeah.
with their significant other and their family and all that stuff. I mean, who knows what goes on?
I think that just half the time they do it to just sort of show off for some obscure reason. I'm not quite sure what they're up to, but yeah.
That's why I never post pictures of myself on Facebook. I'm on there, but I'm never posting pictures of myself and me doing things with other people or anything. I don't do that. I keep that out of it. I'll post a picture of things I enjoy, like scenery or animals or nature. I mean,
Yeah.
but I'm not over there bragging about, oh, I've got this, I got that. My life's like this. That's private. I don't have anything to prove, so I'm not trying to do that.
My hot take is I like when people do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? Because I want my friends to have all that stuff. I'm happy for them. I know that they do it to, it's a selection. Obviously, people have other things. They're not going to post the negatives in general. But yeah, I mean, you get a new house, you travel, you want to show the happy, clappy stuff. Live your life.
Well, but that's the thing about me.
Why do you have to spray it around everybody else? I mean, just enjoy yourself.
Well,
Why do you have to have
profile.
validation from anybody? Huh? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's my point.
But you know that's fake, though. You know that's fake because they act like their lives are so perfect and their marriages are so perfect, and then a month later they're getting a divorce, and you're just like, where did this come from? I thought you had a perfect life. Like, I never did that. Like when I was on Facebook, I would admit when I was depressed, and then, oh, you're so negative. It's just like, am I supposed to just take pictures of my food and like my car and just act like I'm so happy? Like, they're so fake.
That's a great point. A great point you just made. Because people expect you to only show the positivity in life. Like, they just kind of gloss over and pretend like it's not there. Or they'd be posting their divorce online. Okay. They'd be posting their kids failing in school. I mean, they'd be posting all that stuff too, but they don't.
And it makes other people feel like, okay, why isn't my life as great as theirs? But their lives are not that great. They're just presenting a false image.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of show, you know. You know, putting on a front. Okay, is what it is. I call it putting on a front.
And even like, because I was on Facebook way back, when I was an undergrad, and then my mom, back then you can only get on Facebook if you were like in the military or a college student. And now then they open it up to everybody. And so my mom came in and saw the stuff that I was posting on my community wall. And she's just like, oh, you shouldn't post that, because she was so worried about other people seeing. I'm just like, this is my Facebook page. It has nothing to do with you. Like, I'm not going to be fake like you and just post positive things. Like, this is where I vent and talk about things I want to talk about. But she was worried about how it would reflect on her.
See, that's
And then she got mad at me because I was arguing with this guy about, he made some homophobic comments, and then I, responded. I don't even going to say what I said. You know what? I'll go ahead and say what I said. I told him the next time I came to my hometown, I was going to make him wear a dress, and I was going to put on some lipstick and basically have my way with him. And then my mom saw it, and this is like, oh, are you coming out the closet? I'm like, I was never in the closet. And she like got all mad and made it all about her. I'm just like, no, we're arguing, and I'm basically telling her I'm going to make him my bitch. And this, like, you're getting in the middle of it, and it has nothing to do with you.
oh Lord. Yeah.
And so then she got mad because I never came out to her, and then she called me demanding that I admit to her that I'm gay. I'm just like, I'm not having this stupid conversation with you. So I don't know. That's the thing about social media. People do want to, like, it's kind of performative.
Oh, very performative. It's like impressing. I mean, it's definitely impressing people. Okay. The object is to get people to look at you and be impressed with what you post.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think it's been this way for a while. The reason why I deactivated my account is because people were looking at things that I posted on my page, which I thought was private, but some kind of way they got access to it, and they were just like sharing it at work and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was working with these lawyers, and they were just so shallow, and they were talking about money and their watches and shit. And I'm just venting to my audience thinking nobody sees this. And this woman at work saw it. She started telling everybody, oh, he doesn't like you. He says that all you do is talk about money and you're so superficial. I'm just like, I didn't say I didn't like them. I don't like the conversation. And now all these people at work think I don't like them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, if it's not private because it's like your settings can be private, but some kind of way people can still see it. It's not a safe space for you to post things. So
I didn't know that. I thought once you said it, nobody could see it.
I don't know how she got access to it. I thought it was private, but some kind of way it wasn't private. At least all of them were not private. Some of them still went public. And then they can sort of trick you because they'll send their friend requests so they can actually look at your posts.
Oh God. Oh.
So that's why I deactivated my account, and I did scrub my channel down to remove anything I didn't want people to see. And then I actually had a lawsuit against the state where I said some anarchist comments that I was going to dismantle them, and then they used my Facebook postings in that lawsuit. It's so screwed up. And again, I thought it was private, but I mean, they stalk your channel and use it against you. So
Man.
once I saw that, I took my Facebook channel down.
Hmm. So when you take your account down, you can still use Facebook, can't you?
If you have to reactivate it, which they'll send you all these email notifications, and if you click on the email, then that automatically reactivates your account, which I didn't even, it did. I guess I need to go back and deactivate them again because I don't use it. And then looking at my friends from law school and stuff sort of was depressing.
Mhm.
It was depressing, but it motivated you because now you want to do something this year, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm so far behind them. They're just living their best lives, and
I mean, you don't need the constant reminder, but like sometimes if you want to motivate yourself, like I know my friends are doing well. I don't need to see it in my face all the time.
but even if it's like, okay, now I'm making an effort to try to do this, but if it doesn't work out, I'm going to be depressed again.
You know?
Because I mean, people act like, oh, you're in control of your own destiny. I don't feel that way. I feel like there's been many attempts where I've tried to do things and something always got in the way of it. And I believe that the state chooses winners and losers. It's like if you can't get an occupational license, then I believe the power to license is the power to destroy. And if the state can deny you a license, then it can actually bring you to financial ruin, and there's nothing you can do about it. And people think that you could. That when I was talking to Shannon about that, she's just like, "Oh, just get a license." It's just like you have no idea what you're talking about, especially when it's something like a law license, where the Supreme Court actually has like non-justices can actually screw you over, and because they know who I am and because I've done things, they're going to retaliate against me. So the only thing I can do is try to move to another state, and hopefully that other state won't know what's going on in this other state and won't screw me over the same way they have. But I'm effectively banned in my state. They're not going to ever give me a law license. And I don't know, if I don't know for sure that I'm banned in other states, they may have a different opinion about it. They may think what I did wasn't that bad. I mean, only thing I did was engage in political speech, right? Because I expressed my views on things. Now they don't want to give me a license.
Wow.
No, California is notoriously difficult to get a license. It's one of the worst states for getting it. California and New York are two of the worst states. And the cost of living in California is egregiously expensive. One of the main reasons I stay in my state, even though I don't like it here, is because the cost of living is relatively cheap.
California's very high.
People are leaving California because the taxes are so high, and the cost, like, it's nearly impossible to become a homeowner. People, are sleeping on the floor in somebody else's living room.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can do it, but homelessness is a huge problem in California. I don't know. I mean, I guess if I move, my brother like buys homes, and so he'll like flip them and sell them. So he told me that if I ever want to move, he would probably just buy my house. I don't know if I really want to sell it to him because I want to get the most money I can get out of it, and I don't know that I would get the best price if I sold it to him.
No, you probably wouldn't. Because you want to give him a break,
Right.
But
And I've put so much work into my landscaping. It's just like I'm just frustrated because if I move, I have to start over from scratch. This is like years and years of like getting it just right, and like when I first moved here, it was just covered in weeds, and now it's just like beautiful. So I don't know what. I mean, if I move, where I'm really attached to my plants, and I'm attached to my stray cats and my gardening, and I don't really like
Stay
my
where
neighbors.
you are, LA. Just stay where you are. One thing I've learned from life is it's the same wherever you go once you settle in anywhere. The shit just follows you around wherever you go. It does. It's sad, brutal reality. Which is
Yeah, but at the same
no,
time,
it's not nice.
I don't. It's like if I'm pretty miserable though. I don't know.
Don't worry about it. Right, LA, you just see the world.
Did you just say don't worry about it?
Yeah, don't worry about it. I've been miserable all my life. LA, you just see the world for what it truly is. It is not nice. And you just see that.
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like you gotta. It's good to become.
Sorry.
No, what I'm trying to say, as far as I'm concerned, when I became aware of the way things are, okay, enlightenment is good, okay, but also it can eat you up if you let it.
Yeah, well.
So you gotta find a happy medium in there somewhere, so it won't drive you nuts. So you kind of stay a little bit numb to it, a little bit. But then at the same time you're aware. You know what I'm talking about? At the same time you know what's going on. Like you're not fooling me. I know what's going on. But at the same time you're kind of numbing yourself out a little bit to protect your own sanity. To protect your own sanity. You know what I'm talking about?
I know. I do know, Patsy. I promise you, I do know.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah,
sorry.
Patsy, I never told you this, but I like the way you sing.
Oh, really?
Do you sing at like karaoke's or like do you just sing around the house?
I just sing around the house. I mean, just and I've noticed over the last, probably about 5 or 7 years, I've gotten better at my singing. And I was actually thinking about going to a recording studio and seeing if I could get some tapes done or something,
But you didn't sing when you were younger, is that correct?
No, I never did. When I grew up a Christian, and I was in church every Sunday, and I used to, sing in, the congregation type thing. But I never was in the choir. But and I used to sing to the radio when I was a kid and all, and all that stuff. But I never really thought I could sing up until about 5 or 6 years ago. And then I realized, I had a pretty good vocal, So.
I mean, I sing too, but I have like really bad sinus problems, which it makes me sound nasally, which is why I don't know. I'm supposed to be getting surgery on my nose to remove some of this tissue.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that helps because I would like to get back into singing.
Oh, it's a wonderful thing, even just doing it for yourself, it makes you feel so good when you sing. It brings you up. It really does when you sing. It does something for you inwardly. It boosts you up. So I fully recommend it. But I've sang on live streams on YouTube. I haven't had them recorded or anything. I don't have a channel. But everybody says, get a channel, and I never have. But I probably need to get a channel.
Why don't you guys have channels?
I don't know. I was kind of afraid of my privacy being invaded. I don't know. I'm kind of fearful of that. But
I mean, you're both like Chickpea and Patsy. You're both technically recorded on other people's channels.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just if you had your own stuff, you owned it, right?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But Marcus,
I could talk about this stuff like I'm talking about right now. Thing in between, Yeah, that'd be
All
cool.
you'd see on my channel would be cats and more cats, Marcus. That's all you would see. So you wouldn't be
And
interested
that
anyway.
that would be a lot of people who want that.
I have had people say to me, you should put this on YouTube, but yeah. Yeah. I do get people saying it to me. Yes.
Is it hard to do to start your own channel?
Nope.
Sorry?
Chickpea, you don't even have to show yourself. You can just record your cats.
Yeah. Thing to me, I'm not very good with mobile phone technology, and I'm not quite sure how to transfer the picture from my mobile phone onto here. I know that sounds insane, but I'm terrible with mobile phones. I just want to throw it at the wall. I hate it.
So, Brother Marcus, what do you do to start your own channel? What's the first step?
Well, when you log into YouTube, there's an option to upload videos. Is there not? Like at the top right where it goes to settings, it should be like incredibly.
Well, you have to create a channel first if she hasn't done that already.
Well, they both have YouTube accounts,
Channel.
right?
Well, count whatever much as it need. But you have to do it on your mobile phone, don't you?
No, you can do it from your laptop. But I mean, if you don't know, like, I just use like Google Gemini to give you a step. Like, you can ask them anything, and they'll give you step-by-step instructions.
Okay.
Yeah, just
I
ask
might
for
do
like
one.
step by step, and yeah, once you get the hang of it, yeah, just
You know,
Or
'cause
there's
that's all-
there's also plenty of YouTube videos explaining how to do it.
yeah, because
Maybe I'll start making some of them. Well,
But I'm
about-
not good with editing. That's what I would like to do. I would like to do like high quality content, and I still haven't learned how to do that. But like doing live streams is easier because I can just talk without having to like take all this time to like edit. I mean, I can pull clips, but I don't know how to do it from scratch.
I like the idea of making video essays, and I have some scripts, but when I think about producing it, I'm like, I don't know what benefit, because I've been on YouTube for so long. I'm like, unless I see a benefit, why would I do this? I don't know.
Well, I was paying for AI, which it did produce high quality, but people didn't like it. People, oh, you're using AI. It's just like, well, yeah, at least it's high quality. I don't have to edit myself.
Yeah.
But I paid so much money for that AI technology. I would never do it again because
Which one did you buy?
I don't even remember, but I paid like $600 for the yearly subscription, and I did not. My channel wasn't even monetized. I didn't get any of that money back. And even though it was AI, I still had to manually go in and select the clips that I was going to use. So it still took me like 2 to 3 hours just to make like a 10-minute video.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been on YouTube for a long time, but I never made a channel. So I think I was too scared to do it. I
I'm
don't know.
too scared, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of like I don't know what to expect. Maybe I get my privacy will get invaded or something. I don't know. I'm a really private person, you know. And that's why I like the anonymity of just coming on here.
Yeah, but you could do the same thing. You don't have to show your face. You just put on the icon that you have right now and just record yourself.
Ah.
I used to show my face, but I just don't trust these people. I don't want them like taking my content and twisting it around and having my face floating around YouTube. I don't want to give people that much power to take my image like that. I already had some. I mean, I haven't been showing my face in a long time. They took my image from my book cover and put it on YouTube. So it's really obnoxious that you would make a book available for free and people would just take it to like weaponize it against you.
But as far as making money, you have to really put out the content. I mean, you got to put out a lot of content, don't you?
There are some people who, I don't know. I mean, they'll literally just go on YouTube, like playing video games and just talking to people, and it's just like, I don't know. But if you do become a large, well, you're singing, right? I don't. Some content creators receive so many donations from people that it's enough to pay their bills.
Mm-hmm. And how do you get the donation?
Well, once you get your channel monetized, they can actually do like super chats and or you can, or well, I guess DW is asking people to donate to, what is it? Is it Amazon or something?
Yeah.
Amazon.
But most people, they try like Patreon or PayPal or shoot, there was a few others. I forget what they are.
See, I'm not even on any of that stuff. PayPal, and all that stuff. I don't do it.
It's just
Actually, I think
crazy, but
PayPal, you know.
the only music I've been listening to lately is like my own soundtrack, which is, I don't know. I mean, I know it's like AI, but it's like I like the messages behind those songs, and I don't know. I actually, at this point, I think if I want music in the future, I probably would rather make my own than to just buy it, because a lot of stuff I'm hearing on the radio and stuff is just garbage, and it's just.
I tell you what, I don't know how old y'all are, but I tell you, I lived in the best. I think my generation, a baby boomer, and I'm telling you, we had some great music, man. I mean,
how old are you, Patsy? Don't mind me asking.
I'm 67.
All right, I'm 71. Wasn't the 80s gorgeous?
Yes. Oh,
Weren't
God.
they gorgeous, the 80s?
And the 70s were great too, man.
Yeah, the 80s were great. I loved the 80s.
Oh, the 80s were over the top. Yeah.
Well, a lot of music now is just remakes of stuff from back in the day. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think even people in this generation know that the music back then was peak.
Yeah, I think the 80s was a peak in human experience, actually.
I mean, it really was. I mean,
it was a peak of
Journey with that Steve Perry. I mean, shit, I just got to listen to him tonight. It brings back so many memories of the good times, man. Shit, it was just like, man, it was so great.
They were lovely days, the 80s.
I was probably about 20. Well, I just bought my car. I just bought a Corvette. And 81, I was out hitting the clubs, And,
yeah, I loved the 80s.
Oh, yeah, man.
They were very nice, the 80s. We had a really good time.
Yeah.
I think they were the peak of human experience, actually. I think we peaked for fun and ease of living. It was so easy to live in the 80s, wasn't it? Good money.
It was. Yeah, the 70s was the same way. Especially the late 70s. Late 70s were good, into the 80s, okay? And the 90s, I'm not sure about the 90s, man.
It started going downhill.
Yeah.
In the UK, it started already. The downhill track started.
Right.
Yes.
So we lived in a great time, me and you.
Yeah, they were. I think they were the best years that the human race had experienced. The 80s.
During that time, were you guys looking forward to the future? Because I mean,
no, we lived in the day.
I don't know anybody.
Yeah, there you go. We did. That's right.
We lived in the day.
That's right.
I know. I just lived for the day. Didn't think about the future. You didn't think about. We just sort of zoned out to the fabulous music. It was the music.
Mm-hmm.
And the wine bars. Oh, I used to love it.
Yeah, I mean,
they were lovely. They were really good years to be young in. Fabulous years.
Aw, that's cute. TBA.
What?
Just LA's second name.
It's almost like we knew we were living it, man. It's like
Yeah.
we knew.
Yeah, I knew. Yes, I knew I was living in a very good time.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
we knew this was it, man.
Yeah,
And
they were great days.
we drained it. We drained it hard, you know.
Yeah, they were
Um,
very, very good days. They were fun days. You know,
I'd
like
go back.
Patsy, I used to work in the City of London, and it was a banking and law area. And the men, there used to be a couple of guys who were so generous. They used to leave their debit cards behind the bar for me and my friend to use to get drunk
Oh,
with. This actually used to happen.
wow.
Yeah,
That's
it's like
good.
that.
Nice,
That's
yeah.
how it was. I used to get, oh God, we used to get, so, you know, it was oh God, it was such fun. And the men were lovely. They were so lovely men, and the fashion was lovely, and the way the men were dressed in their city suits, and it was a lovely, lovely time. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was very
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, it was nice.
I mean, I don't know. Just the '60s, it got started in the '60s. The music.
Yeah,
I mean,
60s,
you had the
yeah.
great '60s music was great. Now I gotta say, it's a
Yes,
different kind of music, but then the '70s came in there and got real. The '70s got kind of emotional with the music. You know what I'm talking about?
yes, yes.
Daryl
David
Hall.
Bowie? David Bowie?
Yeah, David Bowie. That was the '80s.
I
Wasn't
also Bowie.
it? Yeah, the '80s.
I still listen to him these days. I've got all his stuff. I still listen to him every day.
Mm-hmm.
Loved him.
Do you remember Todd Rundgren?
Who?
Todd Rundgren.
No, he's the American.
Oh man, he was good.
American.
Yeah, he's still making music. But I tell you what, he was a good one. That was the '70s.
Yes. Yes, they were good years, the 70s.
But
My favourite was
I don't know. I'm just happy we were born. Were because
yeah, they were good years.
I actually feel sorry for the kids now. It's like,
It's horrible.
damn, they don't have any. I don't know. It's just they don't have anything to enjoy. The
There's
music's
nothing, is
crap.
there? No, there's nothing. And I find there's a strange vibe in the air now. Something's happened to the atmosphere. Weird.
Yeah.
And do you remember when we were young, Patsy, how the sun used to look yellow?
Yeah.
Do you remember the yellow sun?
Yeah. I didn't look straight at it.
What?
I didn't look straight at it, but I remember.
Yeah, you used to be able to look at the yellow sun and the strange white. We didn't get white stripes in the sky like we do nowadays. And
oh yeah, those darn chemtrails. Yeah.
Chemtrails, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when you tell people that, when I said there was a time the sun was yellow, they look at you to say, "Don't be so stupid."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, and now we got these drones of all things buzzing over your house. You know.
Have you got that already? Have you got that where you live?
Yeah, drone. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Oh, that's nice. A drone above. Oh God, I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's like talking about invading your privacy, you know. But I don't know. It's just everything's just gone downhill. It's gone uphill technically, with the tech has gone up, you know.
Yeah.
But there's a price you pay.
Yes.
There's a price you pay with that because some of the intimacy goes away with the tech. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, I noticed a change in the workplace. I noticed when I used to work as a secretary, and the typewriter days were much more fun than the computer days. I do remember the difference that computers made to the workplace, and I did notice that. Yeah. Much as I love computers. Yeah.
Learned on a manual typewriter.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the shorthand.
Oh, yes.
Short hands.
And it's so fun because I remember when I was the first job I had was a secretary. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was at 17 years old, and I typed up my first letter on a manual typewriter.
Yes, I did all that. Yeah, I went through all that. Yeah.
And I was so proud of myself. He dictated over a dictaphone. Okay.
Yes.
And I was like, "Oh, Mama, look at what I did today! I did a dictaphone, you know." And I was just so happy. I felt like, man, I'm coming up in the world, you know. And
I know. I went through all that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember I typed on this thing called a mag card, magnetic cord.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
it
Well,
was
we
the
didn't have
first.
that in the UK.
It was
Yeah.
the first memory typewriter.
Oh, right.
And what you
Oh,
did
yeah.
is there was this what do you call it, thing that sits on the floor, okay, beside the typewriter.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a instrument or something that sits beside on the floor, and there was a
Yeah.
magnetic cord you put into it, okay,
Yeah.
and then you start typing, and it's putting what your keystrokes onto on that cord.
I mean, for the telex machine.
It's kind of like that.
No, the telex machine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's my first memory typewriter I ever typed on.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
remember it all. I mean, I love computers, but yes, I think, yes. I mean, I do love my Chromebook, I have to admit. It's but society's
but when I
changed.
think back on that, I say, God, you're old. You're so old. You're a relic. Typing on a mag cord machine.
Yeah, and a shorthand. I tell you, the shorthand. By the end of the day, my hand used to ache. They used to be sore from this constant.
Were you good at that?
Well, I
Did you
worked in
enjoy
a
them?
law firm, so yeah, I must have been quite good.
Yeah, God, yes, you had to be. Yeah, I did too, working in law firm. That's why I worked there.
Yeah, God. Oh, God, yeah, the typing and the shorthand. And then I was so grateful when those audio machines came into being. And then, of course, you had an IBM golf balls. You remember the golf ball?
Mm-hmm.
I used to love my golf ball typewriter. And then, of course, computers. I loved them, the word processors, but I don't know anymore. The workplace changed. The girls, it changed the workplace. I know that. For the worse, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the first computer, the Macintosh, Macintosh computer, I mean, we've seen it all. We have seen it all.
Yeah, right from the beginning, right to the end.
Yeah, ain't it nice? I mean, we've seen all that. Nobody else saw it but us. I mean, so it's kind of hard getting older, but at the same time, you look at yourself and say, "Man, look what I've experienced that nobody else did." So,
Yeah, I remember it all. Yeah.
I want to answer this question. Do you think that people that have even finances to have babies and raise them in the right environment, I think that's the normal right thing to do. I mean, that's fine. I guess that's probably the bare minimum, but it's not just about raising a child. It's also about what happens after the age of majority, because they're going to be enslaved to the state. So just because you can raise your child does not mean that you have the right to impose existence on someone without their consent. I don't think. I mean, it doesn't matter how wealthy you are. You're still imposing things that that are unjustified. So yeah, I think that's a separate issue. I don't care how wealthy you are. You still don't have the right to impose existence on people without their consent.
Yeah, you're a slave as soon as you enter this world. You're a slave.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, come on, let's just boil it down to brass tacks. As soon as you pop out of the womb, you're a slave.
Yeah, your conditioning starts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Slavery, life of slavery. So I'll tell you something, Patsy. I was thrown off the treadmill 30 years ago with RA. And you know what? It was a blessing in disguise. RA, blessing in disguise, because it just threw me off. And I've been living quiet little life with 7 cats. The state takes care of everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
looking back on it all, it's been a blessing.
But yeah, I mean, to say, as soon as you pop out of that womb, you're needing something. Okay.
Yeah, you're such needy creatures,
and that's what makes you a slave.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's just as simple as that, and nobody seems to want to open their eyes.
I've always seen it. Yeah, I've always seen it.
Yeah, a lot, but the majority of people, Chick B, do not see it.
They just don't see it.
You ever thought about? You ever thought about living off the state, LA?
That's hard to do.
I do it. I tell you, Patsy, the funny part is once you stop working, you spend a lot less money. You spend less money on clothes, less money on trying to cheer yourself up, and everything else. And I tell you something, I'm not much worse off than if I had been working. Yes, I'd have a cupboards and cupboards full of clothes and junk jewelry, which of course I don't have. Because you just spend less because you don't have to impress anyone with your appearance every day. So, you know, and I've got a couple of friends who I worked with years and years ago, and they're not that much better off than I am, all said and done. As pensioners, not much better off. They're not. You change you change your spending habits.
I agree with that. And that's the good thing about being retired. A lot of that pressure's off of you, man.
Isn't it lovely?
Buy more clothes. Buy more clothes to go to work every day and have a different outfit every day.
Yeah, if you have to every day, something different.
Yeah.
What age did you retire, Patsy?
I was 59, actually. A little bit early.
Yeah, retired early, yeah.
Because my father passed away and he did give me some inheritance. So, you know, I could pay my house off with that. And, you know, and I had some little bit of savings I'd saved up. And then I took Social Security at 65. So.
Yeah, I just had my rent paid by the state. You know what? I don't care.
But I don't regret in a minute. I don't regret in any way retiring or getting out of that workforce at 59.
Do you regret not doing it sooner?
Oh, if I could have, Lord knows I would have.
Well, like, let's say you didn't have the financial safety net. Like, would you have quit the workforce and maybe live off the state? Have you thought of that before?
No, I never thought.
Or like, if you had to relive it again, would you?
The thought never occurred to me to do that. Because I was always able to work, you know, and get out there and go to a damn 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, 9 to 5 job.
Were you happy to work?
No.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I don't like sitting behind a cubicle typing all day.
Yes.
With a wall facing you, a darn wall.
Lovely,
Okay. No window. You know, just you're just grinding it out, pushing out the paper.
That's grim, isn't it? Yeah.
It's very. I think it's great. I'm thinking it like I got 20 more years of doing the exact same thing. I might just get a little van and just move into the middle of nowhere. Like I'm getting to the point where it's too much psychologically.
You know, at first it didn't bother me. Okay. At first,
same here, Patsy. Over the years, it got to me.
Yeah, and finally I said, "Dang, listen, you know, I'm just pushing paper here, okay? I'm pushing paper."
Yeah.
And that's what I was doing.
Yep. Same here.
No feeling, no emotion, no fulfillment of what I was doing. I was just making a dollar bill to try to, to pay for the mortgage.
Yeah, I've been there. Yes.
And that's a shitty kind of life, is what it is.
It's horrible, isn't it?
And then you're too tired at the end of the day to do anything else.
Oh, it's right back. Do the same thing over again for, next 4 days.
Yeah, but that's what life's like if you remember the proletariat working for a corporation.
Yep.
Just,
and they'll replace you in a second. They will replace you.
You don't count 1 second. You don't count.
They will replace you in a damn second.
Yeah.
They'll lay you off. They will lay you off the job completely. Yes. For no good reason, just as they don't need you anymore. You know, just like, bye. You know?
Yeah.
And it's
just like I said,
Go ahead.
I was thrown off, and it was a blessing.
It's just, I wish I could have done it sooner.
Yes. I well believe it.
Because, it's just it's so unfair the way it's set up. Because you should be able to enjoy your youth.
But you can't.
But you can't because you're working your ass off.
Yeah, it's taken away from you. Everything's taken. The best years, they get you the best years of your life.
Right.
Take them off you.
It's such a what do you call it? What am I saying? I'm trying to think. It's just vile.
Well, we are apparently, if you have to sell your labor to a master, you are a slave. We are just as
Yeah.
enslaved as the workers on the plantations were.
Mm-hmm.
Sad, brutal reality. We're just free to choose our masters. Aren't we the lucky ones?
Yeah.
That's the sad reality of it for all of us.
I was watching something. I don't know what I was watching recently, but it was talking about the fact that in offices they call it human resources.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you are.
That's what you're in, yes.
You're a
You
damn
know that.
resource. You're a resource, okay? You're a damn resource for the company.
Resource.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a commodity, or like they use.
Yeah. So you are.
They use you like a resource.
Yeah. Slavery. Which is a form of slavery.
Disgusting. It's totally disgusting.
Yeah. No. Don't tell me about it. Yeah.
I'm getting all this out. I can't believe I'm getting this out finally.
Actually, it's very good to get all your crap out because it helps loosen it helps get all the rubbish out of your soul and out of your consciousness. It does.
Yeah.
It does, because we all sit here, it's all crammed in.
Mm.
Yeah.
But my advice would be do it as soon as you can. That's all I can say.
Yes, we can.
Get out of that workforce as soon as your ass can get out of that workforce.
Yeah.
Now, working for yourself, that's a good idea. But even then, you're obligated to somebody.
It's life. Yes, it's life. Modern life. Well, it's always been like this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Life's an obligation.
Yes. And then you die.
There you go.
And that's why I don't vent that much, so I can keep in the stress, so I can go sooner.
Don't vent so much. Oh, right. But Marcus, it's good.
Sorry, that was maybe too dark of a joke, but
That's it's good.
Howdy, brother Marcus.
I don't like giving my age, but
Oh, come on. If I can get my age.
Around 40.
Okay. Oh, that's good. Well,
I've been around the block.
This is good to know because I know what I just kind of know somebody better if I know what their age is.
I get it. Yeah. Like I can't relate to 20-year-olds, so I get it. Even young 30-year-olds I can't really relate to. So.
Wow. Yeah. Cause I don't know. Yeah. I mean, every decade that goes by, it just changes. Everything changes.
But I'll tell you this much, Patsy. I've got 7 cats, and they're the only thing that keep me going. That's the only reason I carry on. The fact I've got a very easy life. All the bills are paid, everything's paid for me, so I may as well just sit back and enjoy it, I suppose.
Do you ever volunteer?
A what?
Do you ever feel like volunteering for something?
I used to do animal rights work and all that sort of thing. But when the RA hit, RA is very taxing and what have you, so I just stopped everything.
She volunteers for this internet show run by a British lad.
Okay. Because I've got some RA too. I got some rheumatoid arthritis myself.
You got it? Mm-hmm. You got RA?
I got some in my back and in my feet.
Yeah.
And I could have gotten it in my I could have gotten my fingers from typing all my life.
Yeah. Well, LA, I must tell you something. LA told me to buy a particular product called alpha lipoic acid. Might want to give it a try. You could buy it on Amazon, give it a try, but it's lessened my pain. My pain levels have plummeted. So alpha lipoic acid.
And is that you rub that on, or you take it empty?
No, it's a capsule. Just take, a capsule.
Oh, okay. I have to write that one down now. Oh, I'm going to have to write that one down.
Yeah.
Alpha lipoic acid?
Yeah. Capsules. You buy them on Amazon. It's not that expensive. I've written it down for you there. It's in the private chat. Can you see it?
I can't see the chat right now. I can't see it.
Oh. How do I do this? Hold on, let me put it in the other one.
I'm writing it down though, because I know what you said.
Oh, you don't, oh, right.
Lipoic
Lipoic. Yes. Lipoic.
acid.
New word, acid. Alpha lipoic acid.
Right.
And I tell you
Got
something,
it.
it has made huge difference in my pain levels. Huge.
Really?
Yeah, there it is.
So you take this by mouth. You take it internally.
Yeah, it tells you on the back. Gives you all the go to Amazon. I've got the best naturals one. It's 300 milligrams, 120 capsules. It's not that expensive. Just follow the instructions on the back. Make sure you take it with food, because it's not good taking it in your stomach. And you will start to notice it's an anti-inflammatory. And I've really noticed the difference. Like, I also suffer very badly from depression, and depression can be caused by inflammation as well. And I've noticed a difference in my depression levels as well.
Wow.
Yeah, I got it. I got it from LA. He told me all about it.
You have depression? Have you tried not worrying about it?
What depression? Mine's
Yeah.
organic.
But
Mine's
have you tried
organic.
have you tried not worrying about it?
My depression?
Yeah.
Not worrying about it.
You being smart, ain't you?
Yeah.
Brother Marcus. Brother Marcus.
Depression. I'm surprised I'm bloody depressed. I'm not depressed, actually. I don't know.
I tell you one thing, I went through a state of depression about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I kind of worked myself out of it, though. Without any help, no medication.
Oh, I take SSRIs,
I
but
just
I
did it
do
on
have
my
a
own.
serotonin problem.
Yes.
I do have a problem with it. But I'm all right. I've got my 7 cats to keep me going.
I wish financial depression was an actual psychological thing, because they're like, oh, you could do all these therapies and medications, and a lot of my friends like who are going through poverty and stuff like that, they're like, I'd be happy as shit as long as I didn't have to worry about like financial issues, and I'm fine.
Yes, Will.
Yeah.
Yes, but I do believe, I don't think money brings happiness, but it certainly makes your life a damn sight easier. And that, I think, can lift your mood, actually. You know, I mean, if you've got good
Yeah,
money...
and I
your
know some
life-
people like they have money, but then they're still depressed. I'm not saying it's either or, but I know some
Alright.
people that if their financial situation resolved, their stress, their depression would also be lifted. They've said it themselves.
Yeah, yes, it does. Of course it does. Because after all, you've got less to worry about, less stress to worry about.
Anxiety. Yeah.
No housework. You can just employ someone to do all your dirty work for you. You know? So, yes, money does bring happiness. Don't get anyone has to say. Well, not happiness, but it certainly makes life a lot easier. Yeah. But I'm a miserable old bag anyway, Marcus, you know. I'm a miserable old boot. The only thing that makes me happy is kittens. More kittens. Marcus, who's gone silent.
What's up?
I was saying the only thing that makes me happy is kittens.
Yes, I know.
That's the only, you know, really, when somebody puts a kitten in my hands, I could feel a ping deep inside me with a ping of happiness. Kitten. And I'm so broody at the moment. Oh my God.
What's broody again? I forgot. What's that mean?
Broody, I'm broody for a kitten. Broody is what women get to have babies. Broody.
Okay.
But I'm broody for a kitten. Kitten season.
That's 7 cats. That's a lot of cats now. And they're
Yes,
all indoor cats, right?
Well, no, they can go out if they want. They've got a cat flap. They can come and go as they please. They're all
Okay.
free to do what they
Has
like.
any of them ever gotten lost?
No. You know what? I live in central London. I've lived here for 30 years. And I've never had a cat go missing or get harmed by humanity. It's never happened in all
That's
these
wonderful.
31 years living here. And
I
I live in
know they kind of like the room sometimes. Yeah.
Sorry?
I know they kind of like to roam sometime, you know.
Yes, they like to go out hunting as well. Things, yeah, but they're very safe here. It's a really weird, glitchy place that could happen in central London. So but it's like that.
So what are the breeds of the cat you have?
Oh, they're just ordinary little hackney. They're called, well, they're just moggy cats. I've got 2 torties, 2 tabbies, 1 black cat, 1 little tuxedo cat, and 1 ginger tomcat. He's the man of the house.
And you name them. Well, what are their names?
Oh, good Lord. There's Poppy, Candy, Daisy, Primrose, Lala, Bella, and David.
Oh, that's so cute.
They're lovely.
That's so cute.
They're all rescues. I don't, they're just rescues that are brought here.
I bet that keeps you busy, man. 7 cats.
Yes.
No wonder you don't work.
Yeah, I haven't got the energy left. But it's giving them they demand so much affection. Every day I spend hours kissing and cuddling cats. The affection they need.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I do love them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I'll tell you something funny. I'm in love with a cat that lives in Canada, a little tortoiseshell cat. And she, her owner sends little pictures, online on YouTube. And I keep sending them to Marcus because this cat, every time I see her, I think of Marcus because she lives close to Marcus, obviously. Well, same country. Yes, I'm in love with the cat in Canada.
Fellow Canadian. Yep.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, she's
Where'd
gorgeous.
LA go?
What?
Where's LA?
He's getting dressed, I think, maybe for work, maybe.
Oh, he's got a job?
LA works, yep.
I didn't know that. What time? Where does LA work now? I mean, do y'all let not where they work, but where y'all from? I mean, I'm in the United States, and I'm in South Carolina. So I don't know. Oh, are y'all from another country? I mean, where are y'all?
I'm in central London.
I'm in Canada.
And where's LA?
LA's in America, isn't it?
America, yeah.
Huh?
America.
America?
America.
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 Really?
America. And Chickpea is British. Right, bruv?
Yeah, British.
Yeah, bruv.
I'm an East Ender.
Very British. Very British.
I'm Dutch, but never mind. London's my home, British. I've put down roots here. London. You know what I love about this country? You're going to laugh with this. I like English men. True.
Why?
I like the way they talk. I like the English accent, the London accent. I just like it. That's why I like D&W so, because he's got that English voice. Just find it nice. I don't like the Dutch language, which is why I stay in England, because I don't like my own language. I prefer to speak English. I prefer to hear English and what have you. Yeah. Sad, isn't it?
Yeah, people have their preferences.
Well, it's
Yeah, I
so
just
cool to
prefer-
be able to talk to people from around the world. I think this
Nice,
is cool,
isn't it?
man. It's
Isn't
like,
it nice?
yes,
it.
it is.
It's really nice, actually.
It's very nice.
Yep.
I'd never be able to do this. Meet somebody from Canada and London.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's cool as it can be.
Yeah, I love the internet. Love it. And you know what I find so lovely about the internet? You can learn so much from it.
Yes, you can.
Just ask it a question, you get the answer.
That's
Love
right.
it.
It's right.
Yeah. We never had that when we were young. And I wish I had, because I would have found life a lot easier if I'd.
The only thing we had was a World Book Encyclopedia.
Actually, did you know our metacognition skills are actually atrophying because we have immediate answers right away?
Yeah, no, I do know. Yeah, yes, I'm having to force myself to read because that's going in me. Notice that in myself.
Yeah, mine's going to.
Yeah, I have noticed it. Yeah. Yes, it's yeah, you can't win, can you? No matter what. But I do love the internet for all its faults.
I mean, I don't mind getting my brain having some type of internet lobotomy, make me think less. I think too much anyway.
Never mind. The day will come when you can get yourself a little chip inserted into your brain. They can just download. You can download any book you want, law degree or whatever, medical degree. Just download it.
Yeah, I don't know about that because I used to spend so much time researching things and like requesting books from the library. Just even if I wasn't reading the entire book because I wanted to research one specific fact,
Yeah,
it took me so much time, and now I can just ask AI and get the same information in a fraction of the time.
I know. And soon you can get it on a chip. Elon Musk has said you'll be able to download a law degree in half an hour.
But that process of slow learning goes into other parts of the brain that immediate learning doesn't activate.
Yeah, but this is a chip. Mark, I don't know how it will work, but Elon Musk has already said it. He's said it publicly. Be able to download a law degree in half an hour.
I think they've already tried Neuralink on a few monkeys, I think.
Yeah, poor animals.
I know.
You know what else they're doing? They're putting microchips into the brains of pigeons and using them as drones.
I think they've done some robotic bees. I don't know if that's true or not, but
disgusting. I hate I'm very anti-vivisection. Really disgusting.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, it's like there's sometimes I just want the information quickly, but it still doesn't mean that I'm not going to like write. You know, I still write motions for court or write legal documents and stuff, and so, and I still like talk on YouTube and stuff. So I don't know. I think for me, I know some people will just take the easy way out and just stop thinking. But some people, they just need an answer to their question, and it's not really going to get in their way of their cognitive thinking. Like they're just like, if, for example, when you asked me earlier about the history of abortion, I knew it had something to do with the American Medical Association. As soon as I typed it in, it confirmed what I said. So otherwise, I would have had to go through all these journal articles and request books, and it would have taken me probably days to answer that one question.
yeah. I get that.
Yeah. Yes. Actually, but although have you heard, LA, that it is believed here in the UK anyway, they're going to stop trial by jury. Have you heard that? LA?
No, I haven't heard that.
They're going to get rid of juries, and they're going to use AI to replace the jury. And I suspect
Oh, wow.
Wow, man.
They made a movie about that, I
That's
think.
scary, isn't it? Isn't it frightening? And I suspect only a matter of time before there won't be a judge, it'll be AI. But yes, they're going to replace juries with AI. I'm terrified of it, petrified.
Well, I don't know the legal system in the UK, but we actually have an enumerated constitution. You guys have a more complex system where it's mostly based on case law. I mean, at the same time, they don't follow the Constitution, but I think it would be a little bit more difficult to do that in the United States. I'm not saying they won't do it, but it's going to raise so many questions.
Yeah.
They already eliminated the jury. Well, I see how they could do it. Because what they do is they get around your right to a jury trial through these summary judgments. And so I guess AI could just issue the summary judgment, which is ridiculous. The Pope,
Well, very
what,
scary.
what, one of the protections we have is supposed to be the jury, because the jury is not supposed to just be the trier of the facts. They're so they under common law they were the triers of the law. So if you believe that the legal system is illegitimate, then you could actually nullify the law through a jury trial, which is what one of the things I'm advocating for in my book. That I'm advocating for jury nullification. That the criminalization of medical assistance in dying is illegitimate, and a jury should nullify that. But if you just replace it with AI is going to say this is the law, and whoever assisted them should just go to prison.
It's very creepy. But I live in this country, and I tell you something, I find it quite a scary thought. But they're doing it.
But this is the reason why I'm going to the root cause of it. If you guys go back and listen to the beginning of this live stream, I talk about procreation, how it enslaves you to the state and the social contract. It's just like, you never consent to the social contract.
We're all subjects. Well, Marcus is. We are subjects of the king. You're not, but me and Marcus both subjects of the king. We've got the bloody say in it anyway.
Why do you say Marcus? Marcus lives in Canada.
Yeah, exactly. He lives in Canada. Canada is still subject to the King of England.
Yeah.
Is that a Commonwealth? I thought Canada was mostly French, though.
No, it's still a British colony. Literally.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're part of the Commonwealth.
So he is subject to old Charlie Boy, just like I am.
And yet, you guys don't even have like a British accent like Australians or or any of these other people. I would even say Indians. A lot of times, they do have more of a British accent than like Americans and Canadians.
Yeah, if you live here, you feel the cultural influence of Britain for sure.
Yeah.
I actually find it annoying.
Yeah.
Like people are like, "Oh, we're an independent country." I don't see it until our culture
No,
changes.
we're not an independent country. In fact, the UK still owns something like 1/6 of the land mass of the planet, or something ridiculous.
So, does the royal family ever come to Canada? I have not heard of that.
They used to. I don't know what's happening. Maybe they have, and I just don't pay attention to that stuff. But I remember in the 90s they used to. Yeah.
Don't pay any attention to. I don't agree with royalty. But yeah, there's.
And we have a governor. We have a governor general, which I think is part of that stuff.
Yes. Next be William will be in charge, Marcus. But you can't wait, can you?
What?
Soon you'll be subject to William.
Well, if Trump doesn't get to us and make us the 51st state, apparently, so.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, what a great choice you've got. Trump or William?
Yeah, Trump or William.
That's almighty. Right.
Listen, leave our little ice cube alone, okay? Like, nobody wants. Leave us alone in the snow.
Oh dear.
I think Trump has already overextended himself. I think by launching this war with Iran, I don't think we can actually do anything else. I don't think we're going to be able to invade any other countries or like extend our military reach. It's just not happening. He's already deeply unpopular. He's going to destroy the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Yes. What I don't understand is there's so many fabulous men in America. Why Trump is still in charge? It never ceases to amaze me. Can't they find someone a bit more pleasant to look at and pleasant to listen to? He's a revolting man. Absolutely vile.
Well, they thought he was going to give them some good policies. They thought he was going to be America first, not get us into wars. He was going to fix the economy, but he did everything. He did the exact opposite of everything he promised.
Vile man. You know, he wears a nappy apparently. So your president wears a nappy. Do you know that? This is what I've heard.
I guess that's the UK version of a diaper.
Yes. Yeah, a nappy.
I know that you guys call things differently in the UK.
Yeah,
You call something like what is a knapsack? What is that? Is that a that's a bag? Is that correct? A
yeah,
knapsack?
it's a shoulder rucksack. Rucksack.
Because one of my law professors was from England, and she kept using this knapsack, and we thought it was something vulgar. Like, what are you talking about?
That's interesting. And we call it a backpack.
Yeah, you see, everybody calls it.
So you call it a rucksack. I call it a backpack.
Backpack.
And some people call it a knapsack. Interesting.
Yeah, well, everybody's calling it something different. Yeah.
Not a
It's just a sack. We can all agree it's a sack.
Yeah. Yeah.
But hey,
Did I tell you my next part? Sorry.
I actually am going to have to go. I'm just. I mean, if you guys want to continue talking, you can. I guess backstage like DMW does. But yeah, I'm going to have to.
It's nearly 5 o'clock in the morning here.
Yeah, I'm going to bed.
4:23. Did I tell you though? I bumped into Charlie Boy once, revolting man. Absolutely vile he was.
Have a good
Who
night.
is that?
I bumped into Charles, Prince Charles, when
Oh,
he was
okay,
very
yeah.
young lieutenant in the Navy, and I bumped into him aboard one of the minesweepers. And he was such a nasty, ill-mannered man, full of self-importance and absolutely vile.
How about Camilla? How about Camilla? How about Camilla?
Oh, God, yes. Camilla, lovely. Oh, gosh, yes.
That made me
Yeah,
so mad about that situation. I am.
What?
God, that pissed me off. That really pissed me off about Diana and Camilla and all that stuff. Yeah.
I think they're all as bad as each other, actually. I don't agree with royalty and gentry and all that sort of stuff. I think it's wrong. You know?
It was just, she was just done so dirty, Diana. I mean, you know, it was like an arranged marriage, you know? I mean,
yes.
Just awful, you know, in general.
Yes. Yeah, it's a horrible situation. Yes, but then
you know what? She never looked happy. She never looked happy.
No.
Have you noticed the way she always looked like from under her eyebrows?
Yes, I know.
You know, she had her eyes looking up under her eyebrows. You know what I'm talking about?
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A very intimidated look, you know.
Yes. Yes, it's not a life I would want, I must admit. You know, it's yes. But I reckon, I don't know, that whole Paris thing, something weird went on there. Like, you know, another thing, many, many years ago, the Queen of England was in Australia and she took 10 children on 10 orphans on a picnic somewhere. Those 10 children were never seen again.
Really?
And that's never investigated.
And who was that took the children? I'm sorry.
Sorry?
Who was that took the children on the picnic?
Queen of England.
Okay. Wow.
This was years and years and years ago.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's not
It's a weird, I don't know what to make of it all. Yeah.
Well, if y'all I'm gonna have to step out because I got to fix dinner and everything. But anyway.
Yeah, I must go to bed. It's 4:25.
Time flies. Time flies. Chickpea, I enjoy talking to you because I never get to talk to you on the.
No, you can't go. You know what gets me about DMW's channel? Go on there. There's always some. Lots of men seem to be drunk and high as kites, and they're whittling and twittering away. Right? Don't they drive you mad?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, I don't mind people getting drunk and high, but I wish they, I don't want to have to listen to them.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, Patsy, I'm off.
All right, I'm off too. LA, thanks for having us.
Y'all have a good night or morning wherever you are.
Yeah. I will
Be
do.
cool.
And do. Don't work too hard. Bye, Patsy. Bye. Bye.
Bye bye. See y'all
Bye.
later.
Bye.